What up, guys? Welcome to the General Banter podcast. Today, as a guest episode, we have Matthew from Best of Belfast. But before we get on to that, just wanted to mention some cool stuff that's coming up. Man, Black Friday's coming up this Friday. And if you go on to colingettis.com, you can pick up some sweet general merch at a reduced price. You know, it's not one of these things where like it's 10%, it's 20%, whatever. We're just knocking money off everything. So if you get on there on Black Friday, you can get some cheap general merch. We're general apparel gear. We've got new long sleeves coming in. You know, that's the front of it. You don't even want to see the, but do you want to see the back? Logos all over it. You know what I mean? As I toss the fucking pre-marked coat to the floor. Yes, colingettis.com for some new general merch. We got hats on the way. We got these sweet tops. Your boy is also doing some gigs coming up. You will probably hear this before I do Hot Water Comedy Club in Liverpool. If you know anyone in Liverpool wants to come see myself just blast the place to pieces, click on the link below. You can get the tickets for Hot Water Comedy Club. Support comes from Aaron McCann on the evening. Your boy's also going to Glasgow, and that is happening on the 12th of December. Link will be below. Tickets are going pretty fast for that. And finally, and I nearly forget about it every time, the Armagh City Hotel is happening on the 28th of December, and it is selling like hot tickets for my show in Armagh, is how the tickets are selling. Mentioned it once, and the guy's like, 350 tickets gone here of about 470, so get on that, and we'll have a big old riot before the new year. And also Patreon, you know what I mean? We got a live podcast uploaded there recently. We got the bonus content. Get on to patreon.com/General Banter podcast. I'm doing it all, man, you know? I'm the fucking SSC, you know what I mean? Is there enough buttons in the world for me to... I keep forgetting about it, you know what I mean? It's everybody and his auntie is doing the SSC, so I forgot also, you know, that I'm doing it on the 20th and 21st. So how about that? There's definitely some tickets sprinkled up around the back of the arena that are available. People are sometimes they're like, I don't want to buy those seats. The way that it's set up, you can see perfectly from everywhere with the help of big screens and good acoustics. It's gonna be fucking lit, man. And you know, we're really doing a number on it. You know, because people are like, oh, do this, what a privilege it is to fucking do it. I'm doing it year in, year out. You know what I mean? We're going in there. We're hitting them hard with the fucking finely tuned material. You know what I'm going to do at the end? Take a microphone and just fucking smash it to bits with a sledgehammer. Come see me at the SSA Arena, guys, 20th and 21st of December. It's Christmas. It's the festive season. You know, it'll be very exciting around that time of year. And the tickets will also be in the description. Enjoy the podcast, guys. It was fantastic. It's 2 hours long. Lengthy.
A2 version of that, and I just slide stuff into it. So good.
Nice. A2?
No, A5. Here's my notepad.
How's it going? Best of Belfast. Just slap it on the table.
Yeah.
Made some notes. Jesus Christ. Right. Are we good to go? Let's do. Are we going?
Oh, do you know what? I have to put them on.
Put it on.
I forgot about the soundboard. Come on.
We'll keep that in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the General Banter podcast. Today we delve into the world of real podcasters, not just comedians talking about jizzing and whatnot. My guest today, Matthew from Best of Belfast.
Mate, that's an absolute honour. I was saying to my wife on the way down, I was like, mate, I don't even need to go on Joe Rogan anymore. This is it.
I know what you're saying to your wife. Mate, here, mate, I'm fucking going to the fella's podcast today. Dream come true, mate.
Mate, it's got video. It's got Niall, the producer. It's got it all, man. I didn't even have to fly to LA or wherever he is.
You know, exactly, yeah. And we'll talk about elk later on in the podcast and hunting and whatnot. We'll have done a couple of podcasts before, though. I went onto your website there just to check it out and see who else was knocking about. And the first one we did was like number 17.
Mate, so this is
What are you on now?
240.
Damn boy.
What are you on? You must be on past 1,000, are you?
I have no idea.
You don't even count anymore.
I do not know. I've probably missed opportunities to like
This
have
is
some
the
sort
big
of-
500 special. Yeah,
and I think
yeah.
I've twice have missed it by like 6 episodes, and I'm like, you can't be. I think no, that's what it was. I think it was on like 5 something, but that
Yeah.
was only since it was the General Banter podcast. There was podcast before that, and then someone was like, you should do the 666 episode, like
That'd be good.
kill Niall on camera,
Per Nile. But so my first year, I did 1 episode a month.
right?
So we were just off the back of whenever I started to go weekly, and I still was like working for Deliveroo and had all my like recording stuff in my Deliveroo bag. We did it in that bar that doesn't even exist anymore upstairs. I can't even remember what it was called. And literally maybe
Berliner.
like the Berliner, that's exactly what it was. 2 months after that, I moved into a lovely studio in a place called Ormo Bass opposite Limelight, and I've been there literally ever since. That must be like 3 years. And then we
Nice.
did the COVID one where I was like, oh, I had no idea that your wife like nearly died and stuff. Like peak lockdown. I was like,
Were we
"Jeez
on Zoom
Louise."
though, or were we just doing the audio over the thing?
I think
know
it was literally just at the start of lockdown. We had this gangster setup where I had like 60 cables going into like a FaceTime on iPhone.
Yeah.
Trying to record audio, trying to record video.
And I forgot to put headphones in, so we got that sort of like echo. And then you were
that's
like, I had to go
right.
on Fiverr and pay some
I
crazy
paid a
man.
dude from Serbia to fix that. I forgot all about that. And do you know what?
Says everyone.
He did an absolute legendary job to the point where I've used him loads of times since.
Yeah.
So you,
fair play.
you unlocked the door to Serbia. Like
There we
brilliant.
go. I'll be doing a tour date there next year. Shout out Serbia. But yeah, that was right, because you're a weird guy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You have a podcast, which I presume is reasonably successful
Yep.
/ very.
Make a living off it. Yep.
Yeah, that's all you do now. Fair enough. But no socials.
None.
Weird.
Yeah. And
How do you do that?
so I brought this to show you because I thought you'd get a kick out of it. That's the main phone.
Let me see that.
Careful, it's lethal.
Right, okay.
So that right there, for people listening, it's just your brick phone. Bog standard builder's brick phone. And
So no social media.
So 3 years ago, I walked away from everything, and I kept the podcast.
Does this have WhatsApp just before we move on? Does it?
No, I have a business smartphone that lives in the car. That's how I was able to get here today using the maps, and that's how I was WhatsApping you.
Okay.
So same number,
Yeah.
but just a smartphone I can turn on and turn off and still be contactable by your granny and your wife and people
All
who
right,
need you.
okay.
Do you know what I
So
mean?
say if I rang you today, it would ring on
It
that?
would ring on
Oh,
that.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's crazy. So what prompted that? Because I'm jealous in a way.
Yeah, and it's funny. Like I obviously talk to loads of people, or have the chance to speak to people on the podcast who have these just insane followings, and every single one of them says, "I wish I could do that,"
Yeah.
and that in itself gives me enough encouragement to kind of stay on the path, if you know what I mean. Because I'm like, you feel locked in, you feel like
Yeah.
you can't get away from it. You feel like my livelihood depends on this, or my business depends on it, or what would happen to my podcast numbers if you walked away.
Yeah.
And so like I did like an experiment, I suppose, and I took a risk, and it's worked out okay for me.
Yeah.
But I walked away because I was sick of it. Like I was sick of always being on my phone. The constant need to make content across like 8 different platforms.
That's the thing.
You know, and now like I said, I was doing once a month, an episode a month for my first year. I basically worked out like I was spending something like 30 hours a week on social media, like literally just to keep everything moving.
Yeah.
And I said, mate, if I stop that, I can just do a weekly show. And I would much rather put out 52 conversations a year than 12 and have the personal benefit of like the headspace and the quiet of getting off the screen, you know?
I know, and it's so like I have a weekly freak out where I'm like, right, reset. We're gonna fucking do a podcast here. We're gonna put another one out on Thursday.
Yeah.
This is the workflow.
The content calendar is looking strong.
2 clips. We need it vertical. We need subs on it. We need fucking everything.
And every platform wants different dimensions.
And
Pain in the ass.
realistically, you don't. You know, I don't actually know what the captions add to anything.
I know.
Because I've had clips that I put up 4 years ago from a podcast shot in a garage. Looks like shit, sounds like shit.
Yeah.
And it's got fucking tons of hits. So you're like, like especially me, you have to reset and be like, okay, the only thing that matters is funniness.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing. Doesn't matter how it's presented.
And it's
really.
so funny that you fall into that, even with your history of like making videos with 0 production value at the beginning that were massive. You know what I mean? Like you knew that instinctively, but like you get so sucked in to want to have everything.
I mean, there's a a number. I think we actually talked about that in the first podcast. There was a number of things going on at that time.
Yeah.
You know, it was like decent editing.
Yeah.
that made
Well,
it
actually, your
look like-
production value was insane in comparison to what was going out there. At the
I think
time.
it was just like the camera was shit. Do you know what I mean? But it looked kind of, you're like, is that off of BBC?
Is that
on TV?
Does that have intro music?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
What is this guy? Work for Pixar?
Also, I'm full disclosure. I'm doing a social experiment with you at the minute.
Right.
So, I broke my nose last night, and I wanted
Last night,
and I wanted to see if anyone commented on my nose today. Do you see?
How did you do that?
Do you see it? Is it wonky?
I'm not you pointed out.
No, I pointed out. I thought, is he just going to be polite, or did he notice? I was playing basketball, and literally took an elbow to the bridge of the nose.
And have you broken your nose before?
No, first time. I'm excited. New experience.
That's
Shout out to Dave Wilson for breaking my nose.
Fuck you, Dave. This is the privilege of being a man, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can take a fucking smashed nose and people won't even.
That's it.
People
Mate,
won't even
it's
notice.
just you have more street cred walking forward for a week until that.
I'm not going to stop staring at it the whole
re-break
time
it.
now.
That's fine.
I mean,
yeah.
you got, the dent is there from
Yeah,
it like going
see
in.
that?
What's the story now with that?
Well, the story is I spent 4 hours in A&E last night. That was my first mistake. And they said, "Oh, we actually can't do anything about that here. We're going to have to refer you."
Yeah, if you're a real gangster, like a boxer or something,
Yeah.
they just grab it and go.
So I asked everyone, including Dave Wilson, I was like, "Can you please just pop this back in and save me the hassle?" And they were like, "No. You got to get a professional to do it."
Because I've seen like a lot of MMA fights and stuff with a medical, a medical professional, just grabbing it and going with like a towel over it, just like.
Yeah.
Because it is that thing of like, while it's broke, it's gonna suck anyway. Just get it back, and at least it's straight. type
Literally,
thing.
mate. If you do it for me now, I'm happy to do it on live on air.
But it will be absolutely murder now. Now that you've had like a night
to recover on it.
It'll have started the knit and everything, and then you got to do it when it's fresh.
It's a proper. It is. It's just re-breaking.
Was
it
it
again.
aching like, or was it just kind
Do
of?
you know what? I'm not a hard guy. Like
Yeah.
in case you didn't pick it up already. Like
known hard man?
it was not. It legitimately wasn't sore. You know.
Oh, that's okay. Sometimes you get hit in the face with a ball. You're kind of like, oh, it was an elbow.
Yeah.
It might have just been very accurate.
Do you know what? Like again, zero experience with broken noses, and I'm not a medical expert. It seems like in my expert opinion, like a very clean break. That's what I tell myself anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that could be the thing.
Yep.
Or a very soft nose.
Yeah, a really soft, skinny nose. It's just like butter, just like.
It's like a cracker. I've definitely, it didn't break badly like that, but I definitely been hitting the nose.
He's gonna say you must have.
To the point where I
some
can't
point.
really breathe out of this nostril.
Oh, really?
So I think it's maybe something's broke in it, but not completely like. What's up, you slapheads? Are you worried about losing your hair? I'm not. Mine's lost. But if you've got some and you want to hang on to it, sons.co.uk are your guys. You won't be surprised to find out that a large majority of men start losing their hair in their 20s. Would you believe that? And if you've looked at hair loss clinics, you'll know that the experience is overpriced and impersonal. And that's where sons.co.uk come in. Our new sponsor, we're very excited about it. They're a mental health care brand. They're not. They're a men's health care brand that offer clinically proven. Like, let me tell you something. Hair is mental health. Okay? Okay? Clinically proven licensed hair loss treatments for less than the cost of a cup of coffee per day. They have treated over 20,000 customers, and their treatments deliver results in 9 out of 10 men. Do you know what, guys? You could be swerving one of those Starbucks that you buy every day and instead having a full head of hair like Jason Momoa, instead of just being alert and caffeinated. Just take their free 1-minute online consultation, and sons.co.uk will tailor a subscription treatment plan specifically to your needs. There's no contract or hidden charges, and it's delivered directly to your door, where most of your post will go, directly to your door. Easy. Show hair loss who's boss and go to sons.co.uk. Use the code, listeners to this podcast, use the code BANTER20. You get £20 off your first order. That's sons.co.uk. Don't be a bald son of a bitch. That's not their motto. Want to give a quick shout out to our old school sponsor, manscaped.com. They've been with us from the start, from the days when we used to have hairy nuts, and now we're walking around with 2 Christmas baubles between our legs, shorn to the hinge end. Manscaped.com. They're the world's leading male groomers. Okay, they've got the tools for your family balls. All right. They got the or what is it? The Lawnmower 4.0. It's the best. It's the gold standard for taking pubes off of a loose fleshy sack. Okay. They've got the plow. They've got the razor for your face. They've got ball deodorant. You know, if you're walking around with a pair of stinking pouches, and they got all these packages, and it's great for Christmas. You know what I mean? Any meal in your life, go on to manscaped.com, get them one of these packages. They got the boxers in there. They got the lawnmower. They got everything. Ball toner. You want them toned up? Get it on there. And listeners to this podcast, if you go to manscaped.com and use the code GenBant1, you get 20% off. You know, and on a luxury item like this, that's quite substantial. So manscaped.com, use the code GenBant1, get some fella in your life the gift of trimmed pubes. He loves it. Manscaped.com. Use the code GenBant1. Thank you very much.
My best mate, like best man at my wedding, dude, he literally, like, I'm going to say last year, had a small operation on one of his nostrils because for his whole life he's only been able to breathe out of one nostril.
Deviated septum, probably.
And he literally got the ability to breathe out of both nostrils.
Yeah.
And he literally was going around being like, mate, I taste everything like so much better now. And he's like eating all these foods. He's like, I don't know. I've been missing out on all this stuff my whole life.
Just jamming Watsits up his nose. Yeah, it's a big deal. But let's get back to serious.
Yeah, sorry. I'm derailing you.
The no social media.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
I'm just, now that I think about it, I'm like, does it add a bit of like prestige to the fact, do your podcast? You know what I mean?
Does it make it elusive, or what do you mean?
Slightly. You know what I mean? Does it give it more? It's a bit like, I'm trying to think of something similar where it's like, you're like, what else? You know, like, say like Bill Burr's podcast where it's just remained the same forever. You know, you don't see Bill Burr podcast clips. You don't see any of that shit. It's I do the audio every week, deal with that type thing. Yeah, well,
I think you probably just realize that half the stuff we do isn't actually essential. Like, it might add something. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no way to quantify this, but like, let's say like all your social pushing and all your clips and everything you do, let's say it gives you like 10% increase in your listenership, right? Mm-hmm. Who knows? Made up stuff. Like, I think you can just decide, it's like, I don't need that 10% and I'll still be okay.
Exactly.
And it'll save me a lot of pain. But even like I mentioned Joe at the start, like Joe, is he the biggest in the world? He's one of the biggest podcasters in the world anyway.
One of the very biggest, yeah.
And like, sometimes I look at stuff he does and I'm like, like, have you read his episode descriptions? So if you were on like the Joe Rogan show, literally your shout out, your text that he would put on the episode is like, Colin Geddes is a comedian from Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
That's it. And meanwhile, everyone else, like at the bottom of the podcast chain, are like, oh, how do I optimize my SEO and how do I put the keywords in there and da-da-da-da. And you look at Joe, like no intro, literally plays a little bit of music and then jumps in and talks nonsense.
And he's not the funniest guy in the world. He's not the most entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't really speak that well for a guy who's surrounded by genii most of the day. We've talked about it before, you know, when you're watching his and you're like, it's not that good a quality. You know, we're fucking cinema cameras and everything. You're like, it's not like it's the slickest operation in the world. He still has the one guy doing all the stuff.
Literally, like Niall is Jamie. Do you know what I mean? Like the production value of
that's
this.
An accent he's putting on.
I'm glad you've got some Irish work, mate. That's great. The production value of this in the Joe Rogan show is not different, really.
Does he have Highland Spring sparkling water? I don't fucking think so.
That's the thing. You didn't offer me a blunt, but you did offer me sparkling water. And for that, I appreciate.
So you're doing that. You're living off that now. You're in the Ormo baths. That's a pretty, you know, you think we're bougie with the water. That's a bougie old spot. I've been in for meetings in there with, you know, ad people and...
It's a lovely spot. I my biggest regret is that we haven't been able to do. I need to get you on the show again so you can do it in the swanky studio because it is a lovely, lovely spot.
Yeah, it's nice.
And even just that ecosystem is so so unknown. Like, people don't know about it. Like, literally every single guest I have walking through that door, they're like, flip me, I didn't know what went on in here.
Yeah.
I had my neighbour in the other night. We were out of the Christmas market, and he came in afterwards. He goes, mate, I thought you had a studio in like a bathroom shop or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, people have no clue what it is. And it's just this, there's 100 different businesses in that building.
That's wild.
Most of them startups.
Yeah.
Across every industry you could think of, like mainly tech. And so it's been really great for us. Like, the team there are incredible and they've been so good to us, like, over the years. But it's a great place to be because there's just stories coming through your door all the time. It's a good way to get guests as well.
So do you think that has added legitimacy to your podcast?
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you walk in, and even my neighbour's a perfect example. You walked in the studio and you just like, in that moment, you saw in his eyes, he goes, oh, this is actually a serious podcast. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a guy with a laptop with a USB microphone in the storage unit of a bathroom shop. All these years I've been living next to Matthew. Do you know what I mean?
It's in here's slightly similar. We're like, I don't really do it because I'm not really like an interview type thing, but I feel like I could pull in almost anybody if I was like, fucking send them a video and I was like, hey guys.
Literally.
Oops, look at all this.
Look at my branded little neon light behind me.
They don't see the bin full of shite over there and like, a mountain of cardboard and fucking just, it's like dudes just live here. It's a shithole, but.
It's a good point you made because even the name itself, like when you tell people, because a lot of people in the tech world would know what Overpass is.
Yeah.
There's immediately that, oh, that's where your office is. Yeah. And that's part of the benefit of being a member there for guys who are just starting off. Like, I actually got in there because I was living on Donegal Road at the time, 2 up, 2 down. Like I said, working for Deliveroo, and I saw an ad literally on a bus stop or something. And Barclays was offering you like 3 months free desk space if you opened a business bank with them. And I didn't have a business bank account yet. I was like, oh mate, I need to get legit
so
here.
What do you mean they'd pay like
so they would give
rent
you
for the office basically?
They would give you
You're
3
just
months free.
Properties. Just fucking $8,000 a month.
In Ormo specifically though. So it was, because Barclays has a partnership with them. And so that's literally how I got in there. And I was like in the hot desk area, literally just my laptop, and then like it's progressed from there. But being a part of that, because you can come in and pay like, I think it's like £150 a month, and it just gives you access to like all these people, all these meeting rooms, all this desk space, a kitchen, somewhere to like lay your home, like your business home in the middle of Belfast.
It suits a lot of people. The amount of like online businesses or fitness people or consultants or whatever, they don't need an office all week.
No,
but they might want to like meet someone for a while and do whatever.
But even for like your international clients and stuff, like to have on your website like the wee Google map and the address that you have a space in Belfast city centre, it does something for a certain type of person, and that can be beneficial for you.
Well, it just makes it's like
legitimizes it.
Legitimizes it, makes them feel a bit more comfortable when you're like, right, I'm not going to this guy's shed.
Yeah, like
do this.
Like you and me, like, oh, can you meet me in the top floor of the Berliner? You're like, what the hell?
This guy's gonna fucking kill me. So you're driving or you're riding or whatever you're doing for Deliveroo.
I am riding.
It's like
on the bike.
What age are you?
I'm 26.
You see, that's insane because even the last podcast we did, you were like 23 and you were still talking about like, I lived in New York for 9 years and then I did all that. The numbers don't even add up. You know what I mean?
You're like, this guy's literally just snake oiling me here.
This guy's fucking, in the Matrix.
It's Benjamin Button, I'm going backwards.
So like, what did you do at uni?
So I didn't go to uni.
You didn't go to uni? That's right.
I left Northern Ireland when I was 18. So that's why I had to jump in terms of the years.
To America?
In a roundabout way, yeah. I lived in Rwanda for a while, and then
this motherfucker.
I know.
It's going to turn into a 3-hour podcast.
The life of Matthew James Thompson.
So why? You leave school.
Yes.
And then did you just decide? Did you want to travel? What were you doing in Rwanda?
So I mean, the shortest version of the story is I just hated Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Like, just could not wait to get out, and like had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, a lot of stuff going on in my family life. Had like a real rocky kind of teenage experience. And so I just blamed everything on Northern Ireland. I was like, it's this country's fault, And when I leave, like, I'm going to be this amazing elite version of myself and all my problems will fade away. So there's a lot of that like youthful ignorance baked in that. But I did, 18, did my last A level, literally jumped on the plane and headed off to Rwanda, was doing save the world, humanitarian type work. Thought I wanted to be a social worker, all that sort of stuff. And had an absolute blast. Like, probably the best 3 months of my life, if I'm honest. And then from there, just did a casual jump ship to Manhattan, freakish culture shock, and was working with drug addicts and the homeless community over there. And I ended up being there for 3 years.
That's wild.
Yep.
That's wild. Like, I'm 35, and if someone said to me, you can move to Manhattan tomorrow, I'd be like, hold on a minute. I'd be like, hold on. I would be like 8 weeks later in a hotel still. I didn't know who to speak to get a flat. What do you do to get a flat around here?
Yeah.
So what's the process there? Do you sort of like, you go, right, I'm going to go. Did you already have sort of like work like that lined up, or like, you know, how do you make the move to New York?
So first of all, it's a lot easier when you're 18. Like, you know, even now at 26, you know, with a family and a house and a baby, like it seems almost impossible. But I speak to people who do it all the time. It was really simple. Like I saw the opportunity for the job and I went for the job, and they sorted everything. They sorted place to live. Here's your Metro card. Showed me how to use the subway, and then boom, you can start work now.
And then when did the sort of idea of like podcasting start to creep in? Were you a big podcast fan?
So actually was like in the early days of podcasting, like would have been listening to loads and loads of stuff. Like, you know, 18, 19, 20, even 21, like was really into the Tim Ferriss show and like all that sort of stuff. And really into audio in general. Like I've always been like an audio learner. Like one of those freaks that just like never had to study and just like aced exams because I just could just remember the stuff. I know that's super annoying for people to hear, but like it's just the reality. So I always knew that like audio is something I need to get into, even just from a personal development point of view.
Okay.
So love listening to audiobooks, all that sort of stuff. And then even if I was working for Deliveroo, like literally it'd be like 12 hours a day listening to stuff flat out.
Yeah, right enough.
You know? So the podcast the idea of me doing podcasting only started whenever I moved back to Northern Ireland. So I got married to a German nurse called Jackie.
Where'd you meet her?
Manhattan. And moved back to Northern Ireland. It was such like, we're only here for a wee bit. Like, you know, it's a stopover. I'm not going to be here forever.
Don't speak to anyone. I've been slagging this place.
yeah.
Some guy from Rwanda. What you doing?
Was looking to do
easy shithole.
Was looking to do a little bit of like qualifications or something, like, you know, to get something under my belt. So because I had a family now, and I was like, right, I need to go. And started working for Deliveroo, worked as a gardener, started doing a wee bit at uni, and just really, really, really got into Belfast. Like the cliche way to say it is like really fell in love with Northern Ireland. I think it was just that moment where you're like, actually this place wasn't the problem, I was the problem.
Oh yeah.
And like the situations around me were the problem. But also I think as well, like anyone who has any sense could see that Northern Ireland is changing and has changed a lot, even in our lifetime. You know, things move forward, and they're moving forward very fast. And I think just having that like international perspective, and then coming back to Belfast and expecting it to be completely backwards, and being like, actually, like this is holding its own on a world stage here.
It is, and it's like Northern Ireland in general. When you have travelled a bit, you're like, this is a mild, at the minute, calm sort of place to live. You know what I mean? Every nothing's too extreme.
Yeah.
You know, people give off about the weather even, and you're like, it's fine. You know what I mean?
It
Most
is.
of the time,
It's super mild.
There's no real extremes.
My German family are like, we really want to move here in the wintertime because it's so warm. And I'm like, oh yeah, I never really thought about it like that.
Yeah. But honestly, it's like, you know, you go to somewhere, like I was in LA and I was like, this is fucking unreal. I would move here tomorrow I'm like tripping over homeless people who can't afford like schizophrenia medication. You're like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously there's problems here and homelessness and various other things, but it's not to the fucking extreme like you see in other places. There are poor people, there are people in poverty, but not like fucking full sections of a town or whatever, you know.
I see, even coming back to Belfast from living in New York City, like breath of fresh air, even just like the financial pressure.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't even remember what our rent was. It was like $3,000 a month or something.
Yeah,
and
for 12 years.
And we were staying in like a rough part of town. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like super cheap, like as cheap as you could get while still being in the city. And like you come back here and like we're renting an amazing like two up, two down house in the city centre. It was like £450 a month. I'm working for Deliveroo. Jackie's working as a carer. And we've got money to spend. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, would you like to go out for dinner this weekend? Because we actually can. And the cost of living here, like, it is going up. And like, you know, there are a lot of financial challenges and stuff. But like, cost of living here in comparison to nearly anywhere else on the planet, unless you go to like Bulgaria or something, is actually insanely good. And see, for anyone who's looking to start a business or start a family, you've no idea like the amount of like buffer that adds into your life. Because see, if I was trying to start this exact business that I have now in New York, I'd be dead.
But you'd be one of fucking, you know, 50,000 guys with like a podcast where you're chatting to, you know, like, what do you call that Instagram account? Like People of New York or something?
Yeah, Humans in New York.
Humans in New York.
Yeah.
It'd be that sort of vibe. But yeah, it just seems like a slightly more. I mean, you know, when you're trying to get into a shop on a Sunday and it's closed, you're like, I'm gonna fucking burn this place down. It has its issues.
It does. It has its moments for sure.
It has its moments, but on, you know, when you step back and look at it, you're like, it is a very mild, sort of nice place to live, really. You know, and then the sun comes out and you're like, who needs a south of France?
You can be anywhere in the world.
I did hear that on a beach in Donegal. Someone just going, who needs a south of France? And it just pierced through the fucking air.
It's
like,
so true though. As overdone as it is, like, you know, here when the weather's good, like, where else can you go? And the other thing about Northern Ireland that is nice, it's real nice, is it's just convenient. As in, like, what do you want? Do you want to go to a mountain? Okay, 15 minutes. What do you want now? Do you want to go to the sea? Okay, 15 minutes. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's all just
so
there.
aggressive the way you said that. What do you want? The fucking ice cream? No bother up a street.
Oh man,
I see some fucking hexagonal stones. No bother, love. Get the fucking bus.
That literally it's the spit. It's perfect impression of a guy I go to the sauna with.
Okay, we're getting into it.
We're into it, bro. There's a sauna in the Clayton Hotel beside Oma Bass.
I was gonna, because you on the run up to this podcast, you were like, you know, you probably doing a panic, being like, okay, I'm being interviewed this time, and you're like,
no, do you know what that
here's
was?
40 things we can talk about.
I was like, here's my bullet points now, because I know for a fact I won't be able to give it to you closer to the time, so I'll just spew it out to you.
You go to the sauna with the guy, because you said what did you say you were addicted to?
I think I said I'm addicted to this, chronically addicted to the sauna, yeah.
Because you were like, I have addiction problems, or had addiction problems.
Yeah.
And then the next sentence, I'm also addicted to half burning myself.
Well, yeah, the other thing is, like, I think if you've been addicted to anything, like, if you have the mind of an addict, not sure it ever leaves you. I think you just learn to manage it and
point it in the right direction
and have healthier. Yeah, you point the energy in a healthier way, you know. But the sauna is probably what like BJJ was for you, like just like a release.
What, the reason your neck's sore every day?
It's just it's that thing that I do that just keeps me right, you know. Yeah. And I could be going through literally anything, like, whether it's personal or professional, and like I step into the sauna, it all goes away.
There's a purifying feeling to it.
Mate, I love it.
Dry. So what sort of sauna is it?
It's just like a dry finish sauna, like 90 degrees.
Because I was going to make an infrared sauna.
Oh.
Because they're actually not that dear, you know. I think if you can.
Oh, you said make? I thought make was like a place. You said it like it was a brand. It's like, yeah, I was going to make.
No.
I'm like, where the hell is make? You were going to build one.
Yeah. Because you can buy infrared lights, and then you can buy these sort of things that are like.
Right, so now I know it's not a brand.
No,
I can like jump in here. Like, I hate infrared saunas.
Okay,
they're the scum of the earth.
Here, cut that out.
They are, yeah. In case you get infrared sauna sponsor. They're like a bootleg DVD. They're not the real thing, man. So infrared sauna is like 60 degrees. See, to get the same, like...
Oh, I thought they were... Do they not go way hotter?
Not the ones I've seen, because I've looked into getting one, like...
Now, when I make a janky one in the garage and burn myself to death...
Yeah, your wife can call me and have you go up, mate.
Come out like one of them things that spins in a kebab shop.
But what I want, like, the life dream is, like, some people want, like, I don't know, a Porsche. Like, I want a sauna outside, like, in a shed.
Yeah.
Like a barrel sauna.
It's a barrel sauna?
You know, just like, it's a shed that looks like a barrel. Just like a circle. And it's...
Like a circle.
Like a circle. Yeah. And, yeah, that's it. That's paradise for me. Yeah.
Have you looked it up? You know what I mean? We can.
It's like three.
Is it
It's $3,000.
Sam Harris, who wrote that 4-Hour Workweek book.
It's Tim. Yeah.
Tim, is it?
Yeah.
Tim Ferriss Harris, mixing them all up.
Big Timmy Fair.
Just reverse engineer it, man.
So my
Much are they?
my brother's mate is a carpenter, and I literally have been like, here,
There you
mate,
go. It's as good as that.
Here, mate, come on. If I buy, because you can buy a sauna heater for like 90 quid.
I think
Believe it or not, there are people on Gumtree that sell sauna heaters. I don't know where they're getting all these second-hand heaters from, but there you go.
I mean, maybe you're limiting yourself to options when you're like, I want it circular.
Oh, so here's the thing.
Maybe
Like,
if you're like, just make it square, your mate can fire it up, no sweat.
literally, yeah. That and cold plunges.
Are
That's
you cold?
that's my drug of choice.
Are you cold? What addiction problems did you have in the past?
So I was chronically addicted to pornography.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And like, you're like, geez Louise, where has this conversation gone?
I was addicted to plunging my dick into my hand, and now I'm addicted to
Now I
plunging.
plunge myself into ice cubes. Yeah.
So what?
So
who told you that?
Okay.
First of all,
So pornography and video games, right? And those are very
Same time?
like on. Oh yeah, of course. They're like peripheral addictions that are kind of trivialized for really understandable reasons, because like it's not technically a substance. It's not like alcohol. It's not like cocaine where there's like a real strong chemical component to it. But like as kind of like everything goes for. Do you see what we're talking about here, video people? The brick phone, multi-purpose, you know. So those are things that, let's be honest, every single person on the planet gets into at some point, you know, especially if you're a dude, although the numbers are changing actually. Really interestingly, in terms of pornography consumption, it's pretty even now between men and women. Like,
it has to be.
like I was a 90s kid, so I was like, my first like drug dealer was my iPod Touch.
Yeah.
You know, whenever the first iPhone came out, I think that's what I got for Christmas. And like, I've always been a real geek and a nerd and real into tech, and like, you know, immediately jailbreaking it and like, you know, doing all the stuff and putting all the apps on it before it was a thing. And I think just like being exposed to that tech world and being on the internet from a young age, it's only a matter of time before you fall into the porn pool, you know?
Yeah, well, you're talking about, you know, the numbers kind of.
It's the Wild West back then too.
Even enough, yeah, you know, it's like anything, when you don't have to fucking go anywhere to get it,
Yeah.
everyone's gonna have a
Literally.
peek at it, like, you know what I mean?
And it's also why like we're also addicted to social media and smartphones, because it's just like, I used the term drug dealer, like your drug dealer's in your pocket.
Oh yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's just there all the time. You don't even have to go out and look for it. Like, there it is.
yeah.
So, you know, we all have been exposed to this. We've all got into it. So it's like, where do you draw the line between addicted and not addicted? My issue was that like I was dealing with loads of other stuff at the time, like really like physical health problems. So like, you know, like bedridden for like 6 months at the age of 11, led to like a suicide attempt. And that was the start of my kind of like journey with mental health. So journey with mental health, as if like that was the only moment anyone has mental health, poor mental health. So struggled a lot with depression, and literally like from 11 to 16, like I just lived this like kind of double life where like for 2 weeks I would be amazing and I'd feel great and I'd be out playing rugby and I'd be, you know, life and soul of the party, and then it'd be 2 weeks like literally suicidal in bed. And I yo-yoed like that. Like we worked it out recently. It's like I missed something like 3 years of school. So because I was exposed to that sort of stuff, that just became what I medicated myself with, you know? And again, like it's embarrassing to say, but like worked out the other day, they said the other day, it was like 3 years ago, because I was doing this other thing. Like, you know, you ever heard of like the 10,000 hour rule? Where it's like to master something, like you got to do it 10,000 hours. I worked it out, like I had something like 12,800 hours of video games from the age of like 8 until 18.
Killing it.
Mate, I am a master, let's be real, you know. And
Black belt at fucking
black belt in Call of Duty, yeah. And
Mario Kart. Imagine it was just the
yeah, Mario Kart.
just the stupidest game.
Mate, you joke. Like, I didn't care what it was. Like, literally, like probably 2 years of my life, it was Mario Kart. Like, another, like, other portions, it was like RuneScape, like the World of Warcraft kind of ripoff. And like, so, and that's even what I've learned as I've kind of like gone on the road a wee bit. Like, it doesn't really matter what it is. Like, mate, last year during lockdown, got like unhealthy. I'll just say it. Like, got addicted to online chess. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, if you can find a fix somewhere, you're going to get it. And so, Gabor Mate, who's a great guy. If anyone is even on the addiction spectrum slightly or deals with like trauma in their life, he's got a really great definition of addiction. And off the top of my head, he says something like, "Oh man, I'm digging deep here. Like 3 things to like qualify whether or not you're addicted to something. First one is the inability to give it up, right? So that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
The second one is long-term negative consequences.
Okay.
So it hurts you or it hurts the people around you. And I can't remember the third thing. So there you go.
Short-term memory. Short-term memory goes to shit.
We'll operate with the 2. And like that in itself is kind of useful to me. And I think I'm actually having someone on the podcast. So my version of like a superstar, like, I mean, I've never been as big a fanboy about getting someone on the podcast, is this doctor from California. She's not Northern Irish. I'm just sneaking her in. And she's written this book called
Your name's Teresa.
Yeah. Can you put an accent on? It's like, Niall, can you hook me up with like a filter that gives her like a West Belfast accent? She wrote a book called Dopamine Nation, and she's an addiction expert, and she is amazing at breaking down how your brain gets addicted to stuff.
Yeah. And
she kind of just lays it out that in the world we live in today, like, you can literally just get addicted to anything.
I would say so, because
anything. I
heard a thing recently, your guy Huberman, he's been on Rogan a bunch.
Oh, I love him. He's great.
He was talking about dopamine and stuff. And
mate, I listened to that episode. Class.
Well, I haven't even listened to that. This was on him just like drawing a wee picture and talking about stuff. And he was saying, and I've definitely been guilty of this. Obviously, every fucking machine you touch is a dopamine hit now. But he was saying, like, you know, when it comes to like actions, like, say if I said to you, like, all right, man, I'm starting a new podcast. And you go, fucking good for you, man. And I go, sweet. And like, that's the dopamine.
Yeah. You've got it already.
The serotonin is the going through the work part of it, where it's maybe not that exciting and it's whatever.
Yeah. It's the looking back and seeing you've done 200.
And down the line,
you get from that. Yeah,
that's the real
serotonin.
reward.
Yeah.
But people are stuck. And I've done it a million times. Like, just, I've had such a good idea and everybody pats you on the back and you go, I'm fucking genius, man. And then you never do it, because that was like enough for you just to like.
So this is really interesting. In that episode, this will take 2 minutes, so it's worth it. He talks about, like, he's a big gym guy. Like, he loves going to the gym, loves working out, resistance training. Don't know what he does, like maybe a 5x5 workout or something. And he says that he started for the first time in his life to really not enjoy the gym. And he was trying to figure it out, and the guy's a neuroscientist. He's so smart. And he realized it's because he was bringing his phone in with him to the gym. So his brain was getting all the reward and the dopamine hit from the phone rather than the exercise. Mm-hmm. So he looked into it more, and literally he laid it out, probably just an expansion of that diagram you're talking about. He says, like, studies have shown that if you, let's say, like, reward yourself with a slice of pizza for going for a run or whatever it is, M&Ms or I don't care. If you know that you're getting the reward at the end of the run, your body doesn't release any dopamine throughout the whole run. It saves it for when you get the pizza, when you get the reward.
Damn.
So you've removed any sort of pleasure from the activity itself, and you've stockpiled it all to the end. And then the worst thing you could do is have the pizza beforehand, because then your body's like, well, why do I need to go for a run in the first place?
That's exactly what happens to people. And like, you know, addiction problems, and you're talking about, we joke about pornography a wee bit, but it's like, you go to whatever fucking numbs the pain straight away.
That's
so you're, you know, like, if you're obviously fucking watching a pile of porn, you're like, well, you know, this is actually quite mindful.
Yeah.
Because I'm just doing this.
Yeah.
And so's eating. So people just go, like, I watched the thing, you know, with a girl, she was like a in shape girl, and then just really fucking, it went to shit. But it wasn't like, it was, you know, depression problems and everything. And you're talking about like the inability to give stuff up and all this here. Whatever show this was, they were like, right, we're going to sort of change your diet up here.
So I think that was the third thing. I think the third thing was like, you use it to numb some sort of pain.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, there you go.
Thank you.
So the girl had a particularly like rough day, and she was like really fuming. She's like, fucking, I need a Chinese. Like, she was saying like, I need a Chinese.
Yeah.
As if that's going to fucking, you know, do away with this shit day that you had.
Yeah.
And obviously the Chinese is like fucking something you get at a buffet. Like, it's a ridiculous amount of stuff.
Yeah.
But she was just like, I can't handle this. I'm spinning out. I need to just like zone out and eat all these chicken balls. Like, that's
the drug of choice.
And there's people, fucking just. I've never been into computer games.
Yeah.
And I don't know what disorder that is, where I'm like, no patience whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I pick it up and go, what the fuck is this stupid shit? And I just, anger probably.
Yeah.
Just whatever the other end of the spectrum is.
Like nothing, like never, like Angry Birds, Flappy Bird, anything even small like that.
I think, I can remember when I was younger, I liked games that felt like a game, where it was like a race or something, like a Mario Kart or fucking whatever. When it started to get a bit like, you're getting lost in this world for 3 days, I'm like, fucking sort your life out. Like,
see, that is my zone.
Yeah.
See, because when I look back, like it was the desire to escape. And that's what those games provided, was just like somewhere to disappear into. You know? And then you get stuck, but anyway.
Yeah, it's funny. I've never been into it. I've never had the patience to get into it. Maybe it was playing a lot of sport when I was younger. I was like, if I can't win this by physical violence. Like I remember playing something at my uncle's. He was like the first guy to have a fucking Super Nintendo when I was like about fucking 6 or something.
Hot damn.
And I just remember like nearly fucking snapping the thing in half, just being like, why is it not responding?
So was there anything, and I'm not asking you to bare your soul here, like, but was there anything even trivial like along the way that you would say you had an unhealthy relationship with, habit-wise?
Oh, everything to this day, probably. Fucking, I don't know. Not that I have a drink problem, but probably for years I was just drinking wrong. Like I was. Good way to put it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't drink that. You have a baby and you're like, right, that's the fun over till whenever.
It's just not worth it. The pain of having to get up in the middle of the night is just not worth it.
I'll save it for like a real event, but sort of frivolous drinking, I'm like, I can't really be bothered with this. Whereas like, it used to be just kind of, if I was drinking, I was just getting fucking hammered. Yeah. And I would rather not drink at all.
Yeah.
If I couldn't do that type thing.
Yeah.
So there's definitely things like that. I'm definitely across the board, like everything is just an on-off switch. It's not a scale. I'm either fucking fully doing it or I'm not type thing. So probably,
but that can be good. Like, and I think I don't know if we said that off mic or on mic, but like things can be channeled in the right direction. Do you know what I mean? And like, I would say like, there's no way I could have built what I've built if I didn't have that in me. Especially at the start. Oh yeah. There's no way you could have built this if you didn't have that. Just like,
well, there is an element of like, I definitely need to learn to fucking just chill a bit. Yeah. Because I'm like a husky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm fucking just pulling all the time, and if I had a minute's rest, I'd be like, why don't I do this? Yeah. And then I've committed myself to fucking some other.
Do you know what I've done?
Time-consuming thing.
Like, this is problematic in its own right, but it's the thing that's working for me at the minute. I try to go like 100% in the rest now, which sounds like a bit of a paradox, but it sort of works for me. So like every weekend, like literally like Friday comes, I turn the phone off and literally I don't touch anything until Monday. I know that sounds really basic, but like that's really good forward motion for me, because I used to just work all the time, like all day, every day. And like being really, really like strict and full on about whenever I'm off work really helps. Like tomorrow, like we're away to Donegal for 5 days where we got married, and literally like nothing will be on for 5 days.
That's amazing.
But it has to be like that for me, because if I take my smartphone out to check one email, it's like literally say goodbye to 2 days of that holiday, because even in my brain I'll just be thinking and what about this, what about that, I should actually call that person. I'm like, let me squeeze the podcast in for that time, and do you know what I mean? It needs to be on and off.
And I think like, it probably helps that you have this one thing that you focus on. My problem is there's fucking 4, 5, 6 things going on.
Sorry to shatter the illusion. Like, I am guilty of multiple plates. Like, so like I'm doing a PhD at the minute.
Okay.
I've got 3 other podcasts that I produce.
What are they? Shout them out.
Shout them out! I love the sound effects. That's something, Best of Belfast needs that in its life.
It doesn't.
Like,
these are getting out of hand. They're getting out of hand.
Yeah, you're right. It is getting out of hand. So we've got one called Responsible Rebels, which is...
Are you in these, or you just produce them?
No, I just produced them.
Right, okay.
So Mark Dowd's one of the guys that runs Ormo Baths, one of the guys that set it up, sorry. He has an amazing new business that he's just raised 5 million for, and it's literally a sustainable way to do fashion. So it's trying to disrupt the fashion industry. It's a tech logistic company, and so we interview people who are doing really interesting things for the environment. That's kind of like brass tacks business. It's not like the eco warrior who's telling you this is the type of thing you should use for your yogurt. It's like, no, this is how we're going to get like big business on board, and like guys like Nike and Adidas and all that sort of stuff. Second show is a new show called People Playbook. It's with a former basketball coach, used to work for Google, and now it's super, super niche. He's interviewing people that are connected to like professional development for teams. So it's beyond niche. It's like Google and Squarespace and all these guys who've got big budgets to develop like their people. Like, we need to put our people through like a learning platform. He's the guy that delivers that. Okay. So great niche. He's carbs. And the third one is a new show that I'm launching actually where I am in I interviewed a guy last year called Stephen Ilardi, and the show's called Mental Health. And he is like this big dog professor in the States. He's one of the leading.
Has no one got a podcast?
No one has a podcast called Mental Health. Mate,
fuck off.
And I tell you what, do you know what? It just hit me in this moment. You're to blame. Because the last thing I listened to you, I texted you, was the Mental Health episode.
Yeah.
And so that, like, that thing, like mental health was like rattling through my head. And so literally, like, we searched, no one has a podcast called Mental Health.
That's like, I spoke to a guy recently in Galway Comedy Festival, and he goes, oh yeah, what's your Instagram or something? He goes, Scottish comedian.
Oh, mate.
And I went, what?
I thought you were just going to say Scott. I was like,
nah. It's mad, that, isn't it?
Yeah, so
I'm just going to call mine most popular number one podcast. Is that real?
That's like in the Yellow Pages back in the day, like all the plumbers would call themselves
Aaron.
Like, 1 2 3 plumbing, 111 plumbing, like hashtag plumber
Aaron
supplies.
Atkinson.
Exactly.
AA. What?
But so it's a co-hosted show, so it's me and this dude, and he's like one of the world's leading experts on depression. His work has actually really, really helped me over the last like 5 years. And we've kind of became friends, and I've had him on the show a few times. And so we're launching that. He's like 55. I'm 26. He's from America. I'm from Ireland. It just brings...
We hit the sauna. It's all good.
Yeah, we hit the sauna and things happen, bro. You know?
The cold plunges. Do you think people got... I literally have stand-up material about it, like people getting into it over lockdown.
Yeah, it was a real COVID thing, yeah.
You know, you can't leave the house, but you can go fucking 90 miles to the beach. But... I mean, like, are people really doing it for the benefit? Are people just doing that sort of thing where they're like, it's fun to go to the beach and we jump in for a second and we're like, ugh. Or do you do like the real proper fucking...
So like,
you know...
Like what you've just described, I think is perfectly fine. Like,
of course it is.
I'm really glad people do that.
But people will do that once and then start a podcast called...
Yeah. The Wim Hof method.
Jim Hof.
Him Wof. No, I'm a disciple. Like this is embarrassing, but I'll tell you because it's good crack.
What does it do for you?
I have a wheelie bin in my back garden. I bought a spare wheelie bin.
Well, I have 3, so...
Yeah. And they're all different colours. Bring it, bro. I have a spare green bin that I use as a cold plunge.
Wow.
And I'd be in most mornings.
Really? What sort of area do you live in? Is there people around you?
So I live in Drumore.
People walk out, right? Matthew, it's cracking.
All right, mucker, how are you? Do you want a cup of tea?
Someone's just like, I have a package here. And you're just like...
Any other bin, mate, not this one.
Hold on, I'm pissing. We're done. Go ahead, mate.
That's much better. So much warmer. So much warmer. I'd love to be in the sea as much. Like when we go to Donegal here, like I'll be in the sea twice a day. Just because I'm like, as you said, a husky. I'm just excited to be near the sea. Live in Drumore, so it's like 40 minutes to the sea. It's just not practical to do that in your daily life. So the wheelie bin is it's a good compromise. What does it do for me? Shortest way to say it is it brings an element of controllable pain into my life. That might sound strange, but back to the whole dopamine brain stuff. Mm-hmm. Like what this Dr. Anna Lemke that I'm fangirling over has kind of proven that the pain and pleasure pathway in your brain is the same pathway. And whenever you have pain in your life, and now pain is a very broad term, like going for a run in her eyes is a form of pain.
Yeah.
Requires effort.
Just discomfort.
Discomfort, yeah. That literally will raise your dopamine levels. Mm-hmm. And by you engaging in highly dopaminic activity, like taking cocaine or something.
That's the name of the podcast.
Highly dopaminic podcast. By you actually seeking out pleasurable activity, your dopamine level goes down. So your brain is a bit of a paradox where the pursuit of pleasure is actually the pursuit of pain. And the pursuit of pain is actually inadvertently the pursuit of pleasure. Now, I'm not recommending that people get really sadist about it and start like inflicting crazy amounts of pain in their life.
Yeah.
But for me, like, whether it's addiction or depression or just like overall sense of well-being in your life, like leaning into some elements of discomfort, I have found to be really, really helpful. And I think if you look across the board at like modern society in general, in the West primarily, things have got much easier.
Oh yeah.
And everyone's more miserable than ever. It's just the vibe.
This has turned into Joe Rogan podcast.
It's the
right
vibe
now.
I've got, you know? It is. We're there.
Well, it's the same, you know, if you fucking ate cake for every meal of the day,
That's it.
you'd feel like shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it is that thing. If you lay in bed, you know, you get into bed after a fucking long day, it's lovely.
Yeah.
If you lie there for fucking
you
2 days
you
in a
hate
row,
your bed.
you know, you fucking need a hip replacement.
Totally. So the cold water, you know, it's you put your body into effectively like a survival state for like 5 minutes. Gives you a sweet rush, helps clear the head, and from the depression point of view, it releases a lot of noradrenaline, which can help you like mitigate the symptoms of depression. But for me, the biggest thing, like they did a study on people who take cold showers, right? And everyone says like, oh, cold showers, like they're good. It's good for your immune system, and like, you know, you don't get sick as much. That's a wee bit of bro science. What actually happens is the study showed that people get sick the same amount, but they just are more likely to go to work because the cold shower gives them that boost to get out the door. And then once they're out the door, they're all right. So with depression, like, you know, let's say you're having like, you know, you're in a dip. You know, everyone's different. Some people have like dips of 6 months. I have frequent short dips. So you're talking like 1 week every 2 months.
Okay.
So in that period, like something like a cold shower is enough to get me. It's like a domino. It's enough to get me to the next part of my day.
Yeah.
And you know yourself, like once you're out of the house or once you, whatever your kind of like threshold is, once you've started your day, it's pretty easy to finish your day. Whereas if you get up out of bed and you go downstairs, you have a cup of tea, and then you think,
it's the same as,
I'll just go back to bed for a second here.
Yeah.
Next thing you know,
It's the same
3
as
days later, you're still there.
any sort of exercise or any sort of work and all, the effort is like
Putting your shoes on.
starting it type thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny you talking about that. Like, I would say, like, just trying to think about, you know, like, I'm more like, yeah, talking about the husky thing. Like, I have no problem with stress or pain.
Yeah.
But I have no self-discipline. Do you know what I mean? So
Interesting.
like,
What do you mean by that?
like, I have all the fucking workout gear going at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Barbells, squat racks, fucking you name it. I've worked out in the past. I know how to work out, blah, blah, blah. I would just never fucking go do it. So I have to book appointments to go to a guy who's amazing at it and do these workouts that are fucking hectic.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, you're fucking strong. Man. You're
Yeah.
You know, like, and you feel like a bee. And like, you know, I see the guys he trains before me, and I'm like, I'll see their workout in the board, and I'm like, what sort of fucking horse shit is that?
Cracker, yeah.
So like, it's like,
you know you can do
I'm
it, but
highly
you just don't do it.
competitive and aggressive and everything when I really need to. And I honestly think like stand up maybe over the years has fucked me up, because I could be like going to do Lavery's tonight and bricking it, shitting my pants, and I do it fucking twice a week. You know, I'm like, oh my God, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And then when I really have to fucking step up, when I'm standing behind the curtain at like the SSE, I'm like,
it's on.
Let's go.
Yeah.
But it takes that. Maybe that's what an adrenaline junkie is. Maybe that's what that actually is, where they're like, this is where you have to be. Like, I nearly go calm when it's that crazy. Yeah. You know, when the pressure's that much, I go like that.
Well, you have to, because what else are you going to do? It's either that or collapse.
It's a similar feeling to like, it's like a last minute acceptance.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, like,
you're like at the dentist and you're shitting yourself, and then you're like, well, I'm in the seat now. But
what are you
going to do now?
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Like, put his finger up your ass?
What you've described. Stop that!
There's no teeth in there.
I hope not. There's what you've said is like, I often like say that describe that as like outsourcing your willpower to the environment, or like outsourcing your willpower to the community. So like I'm trying to do more yoga. I actually really like yoga when I'm doing it, but I'll never do it myself.
Yeah.
So like Ormo Bass has like they've got like every other week there's a yoga session.
That's so I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like Maureen has a friend, shout out Laura, who's amazing at yoga, and was actually, because Maureen was like really immunocompromised, so she would come round to the house instead of Maureen going to a fucking class. She'd come round and we do yoga.
Class.
And I was like, man, I have never felt better
Mate,
in my life.
I
should be doing this
epic.
every day. And it was like, are you going to do it every day? Fuck off.
Yeah. But like, so
Not a chance.
But see, when I'm in the room, amazing.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally like, mate, this is better than any drug I've ever had.
Outsourcing
Like,
it's letting someone else take the wheel and just being.
It is.
Like, it's same with me going and training somewhere. I'm like, you do the thinking for me, and I'll just sweat all over myself and pick the weights up. Like,
So
don't make me think.
I give you a good example. Same neighbor I was talking about earlier, actually. So there would be like a few of us in the estate that like are all pretty open about like depression. We're on the spectrum. It's winter time. We know this is a vulnerable moment for us. So we just made the decision. Look, let's meet up every Monday night and go for a run, like locally.
Is this in your street?
Yeah.
Man, this is fucking amazing. It's like some sort of hippie commune.
Yeah, we all live in these log cabins, man. It's super, super dope.
Circular cabins.
And
China.
barrel cabins,
Went very-
sauna out the back.
Yeah.
And literally, like, that run is the easiest workout I do every week. Or last night playing basketball,
Yeah.
like, where I broke my nose. Like, that's the easiest. Like, I hate sprints. And all basketball is like
sprinting?
an hour of sprinting,
Yeah.
up and down. You would never ever do, like, if you went to a football pitch and were like by yourself and like go do this every Tuesday, I would never do it. But I do it every single week because the community or the willpower is just outsourced to the dudes that are there and to the game that we're playing, you know?
Yeah, a lot of those scenarios you can just yeah, that's a great way to put it. But you do just like give yourself over to whatever's happening.
But it's so one last example, not to beat a dead horse. So I do 2 hours of writing every morning on my work days. That's when I do my PhD. I'm writing a novel. I love writing. Writing's a big part of my life. And I started this thing at the start of winter where I would meet up with other people who work for themselves, who are maybe working on a big project that are doing kind of deep work that you need a lot of concentration for. And like every Monday morning, like we would meet up and we would do like a 2-hour slot together. And it was the exact same scenario as the run with the neighbours of the basketball. It's outsourcing it to the community.
That's very smart.
Literally, I was like, because if I nail my Monday, I know for a fact the rest of the week's fine. And so I just have to show up, get a wee coffee, have a wee chat, and then the timer starts and magically you just start writing.
It's amazing that like I do like writing and I never do it. And I've never had a problem with like where to go once I start writing. A lot of videos I've done in the past, like that were like a rant or like some of those daily blends, I would just have the topic and I would write it perfectly.
Yeah.
The first time, and it just go, I'm going to say that on a camera.
Yeah.
It wasn't amended at all.
Yeah.
And almost because I know that I can do that, I never do it.
Yeah. Seinfeld, one of my favorite episodes of all time was Tim Ferriss interviewing
That's
Jerry.
amazing. I listened to that too.
And like what he was talking about, of like, I think his was an hour. It's like he describes himself as like a stubborn little lapdog. And he's like, I literally like get the yappy wee dog and I sit him down and I set a timer for an hour. I'm not allowed to go to the toilet. I'm not allowed to move. I have to stay in the seat for an hour. And my 2 options are I can write or I can sit there and stare at the wall. Mate, I have implemented that since listening to that. That was last winter. That was so, so helpful. That very thing where it's like, I'm just going to sit in my chair. I'm going to do a timer. There's nothing else going on. And you know what? Guess what you do? You write.
But that's what I've missed out on as a comedian over the last probably 2 years or more, you know, since I had a baby and fucking whatever else was going on.
Carnage.
For a comedian, sometimes the writing is doing nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
True.
The writing is just like I can remember being like what I thought was massively creative, even though the output wasn't the same as anywhere near where it is now. But, you know, you'd have fucking sat about and like, you know, just smoked out the window and just thought about stuff. And then something genius would come to you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, man, I'm fucking class. And it's like one thought after a full afternoon of just sitting there.
That's part of it too. And
Or
like,
nighttime's a big thing.
are
for
you
me.
a nighttime guy?
Yeah, and I can't do it anymore. I'm not like I'm converting. We have like a detached garage thing in this new house.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just build a studio in there because the last house had a wee detached garage, and I used to go to it, and I love that feeling when everyone's fucking in bed and you can just we lamp over,
Literally.
But now I'm like, I don't get that anywhere, and I don't feel like I only really feel relaxed at that time of night, and now I don't have it. Now I'm gonna have to like create it for myself.
Yeah. So during COVID, where we had the last remote interview, I built like a home studio in the garden shed effectively, and see having a place. And I know this is privilege, like because not everyone has a garden, but like see having a place that's separate from your house, it's just such a game changer.
And also close enough to it.
That's the thing. It can't be too far away.
Because what's killing me at the minute is we come up here and we have the best of gear and all that sort of stuff, and we put out. I think our podcast looks as good as it gets from here. Anyway.
Yep. Not even from here, just everywhere.
I mean, it looks like a fucking film. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's such a big event with travel and setting it up, and
What's your commute in?
45 minutes or something. But
that's painful.
It's like
an hour and a half every day.
Yeah, exactly. And if I used to think this was a lot of work. Walk to the little garage, press record, talk for an hour.
Yeah.
Take the wee card out, put it in the computer. Oh, that's it online, no video or anything. I used to think like, fuck, when am I gonna squeeze that in?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I could do fucking 8 of those and bank them.
Yeah.
I could just knock them all out in one day. But it is good to have both, obviously, and I think that's where I'm gonna have to go. Is like,
yeah, it's the balance though. Like generally speaking, where you need the balance between being a professional and having like consistent commitments. So like, what the hell does that mean? I just mean like the decision, like Best of Belfast publishes an episode every Monday morning. Like you're on the line for that, and you know what you have to do, and then you can orientate your work. What are you? Are you 2 or 3 a week?
It's supposed to be, once again, fucked up once these gigs came back, but it's supposed to be 1 on a Tuesday, 1 on a Thursday morning for Patreon. So
that in itself, like that's your commitment, and that's probably, depending on what else you've going on in your life, that's probably doable. So you want to have something that you're constantly on the line for, where it forces you to create, or it forces you, if you're a writer, like I set deadlines for every single week, and I know for a fact, like even today, like I broke my nose last night and I couldn't be bothered going into the shed to write, but I was like, I have to go, because if I don't do this today, I literally won't hit my deadline for the week, and I'll be so...
You did that at night or in the morning?
I did it this morning. And so I finished redrafting, say chapter 5, right? And I just knew that like, I'll be so angry because next week I have to start on chapter 6. If I have chapter 5 hanging over me, it's just, so you need that, but then you need those consistent kind of deadlines to keep yourself moving forward. But you can't have too many, because then you'll literally just burn out and die.
Yeah. Well, I think that's, I was just getting the hang of podcasting and stuff myself, but that was during lockdowns and stuff when there was no live stuff.
Yeah.
Then we come back and the live stuff has gone fucking nuts. So then you're like trying to juggle it both.
Yeah.
Or juggle both. And then, the likes of the comedy club, they're adding nights and stuff. And you're like, that is just so much admin. Like, so much admin. But figuring it out, you know what I mean? It's an ever evolving fucking thing. But I'm definitely going to, after talking to you, I'm like, things need to fucking wind a way down.
I'll have a chat with Niall. There's a couple of things I use that's made a really big difference. And I'll keep this short because
heroin.
Not everyone. Not everyone is doing a podcast. But see, having like set slots every single... So I come into Belfast 2 days a week, and I do 4 podcasts on those days. And I have like a piece of software called Calendly. It's just like a scheduling where you literally like 1 o'clock start.
Catchy.
Yeah, I know. 1 o'clock slot, 3 o'clock slot, and that's it. So like you're a wee bit Joe Rogan-y in terms of like, this is what we're working with. Can you work with one of these times? And 99% of the time people can. So you batch it all together. You've got, and the guests literally can book themselves in, so there's no back and forward. There's no like, oh, you free this time? What about this time? What about this time? It's like, here's 40 slots over the next 4 months. Hopefully one of them will work for you. Chances are they will, and they book it. And as soon as they book in, no one else can book that. That in itself literally has saved my life, because it means that you can, especially if you're driving in, you can do 2 or 3 in the one day before your gigs start. And then, but anyway, that's don't want to go into podcast masterclass mode. But
Gallantly. Ad time. Shout out to our old school sponsors, beer52.com. Do you like beer? Yes. Do you like not moving off the couch? They've got you sorted. It's subscription beer. You sign up, they send you 8, 10 or 12 beers to your house, depending on which one you pick. And it's hand selected, some of the best beers on earth, and they put them in one box along with a magazine and snacks. You can't eat the magazine. That comes to your house. And if you listen to this podcast, you use the code BANTER and you get the first box free. All you do is pay for delivery. You pay for the stamp that goes on the box, and you don't pay for the box. It arrives at your house, and you get to sample all these amazing beers, IPAs, double IPAs, DIPAs, triple IPA, tripas, quadripas, stouts. They take a stout, they mix it with a fruit, do you want a mango stout? Not for me, but some of the paler beers are tremendous, okay? Beer52.com, use the code BANTER and get your first box free. Thanks very much. We interrupt this broadcast FlowCBDLTD.com. Guys, they're our old school sponsors, friends of the show. Do you have any CBD needs? These guys have it covered. Flow CBD. Get on their website there. It's Black Friday coming up. They've got a discount code. It's Flow Friday to get free shipping and 20% off all their products. They got the best tasting oil on the market. It tastes like peppermints and not fucking bog water the way most CBD oil tastes. They've got the gummies, which are amazing. That saves any measuring. You just pop one gummy per day. Good times. They got bath bombs. They got everything. All your CBD needs over at flowcbdltd.com. Use the code FlowFriday on Black Friday to get 20% off. Thanks, guys, for your support. Stay flowy, stay chilled. Yeah, our big issue is you're throwing some audio online, and ours is a whole other animal. Once you leave here today,
video is a beast.
It's another whole fucking thing.
It is a beast.
That's why, I think moving forward, my output is gonna be a lot more audio on Patreon.
To be no offense to the faithful, legendary Patreon people, thank you for supporting the show legitimately, but how many of you guys are watching video on your Patreon?
Well, that's the thing.
And would you be happy with just audio if it meant you got it consistently?
I think fucking 85% of people would, and a lot of people are would say things like, "I'll only watch the video if there's a guest," because they'll put it on like it's a show because they've something to watch. Otherwise, it's just me sitting there.
Yeah.
But I've done that before. We did a 12 pods of Christmas, put out 12 extra podcasts over Christmas. Did very well,
which is brutal as well.
Nearly killed us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how'd that go for you?
Because what was it like? Now the workflow literally was shoot the thing. I wanted a clip for iTunes and stuff and Spotify, so there was a segment had to go up of that, an actual clip for promo.
Yeah.
And there was just fucking 6 other versions of it that had to be pumped out, then scheduled to be put out on certain. It was a fucking nightmare. But it was a big bump for the Patreon.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can do it this year. We'll try and be a lot smarter about it this time. But we tried to do it again in the summer, the SummerSlam thing. And I put them up on Patreon. It was a little mini series of sort of more specialist things. Nico was on one.
Yeah.
And we put it up, and I was like, fucking no one watched this. Do you know what I mean?
We wasted 10 hours of production for nothing.
They killed themselves trying to fucking do this.
Yeah.
No hits. And then I put it up, and then this wave of there's no point being on the Patreon. He only puts it up publicly anyway.
Yeah.
I'm well, no one fucking watched it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Literally.
So I actually was putting them public for the benefit of the guest, because I was sorry, I made you drive the way in here for 126 views.
Yeah.
Let's get it out there.
Yeah.
But But you're constantly battling that, as soon as people are paying for it, there's this weird obligation. And of course, like trying to stick to a schedule, you're like, obviously it's hard for anyone to stick to a schedule.
And do you know what? It's so hard whenever you're managing a Patreon community. It's not on Patreon, but it's the exact same thing, like a Patreon community. And like I was talking to loads of those guys, and like, as you say, like 80 to 90% of them are like, mate, we don't support this podcast for all the extra stuff you give us. We support the podcast because we want to support the podcast.
Yeah.
And like, you've got like, there's two extremes. There's like, I don't know, what's a good example? Like Blind Boy down south.
Yeah, no
like,
extra stuff.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Like, not one post ever. Do you know what I mean? It's literally just like, you can support it if you want. If you don't, that's okay. And then the other extreme is, I don't know, I don't really listen to any of his stuff, but maybe Sam Harris has got like, I imagine he's the kind of guy who like, and here's your 3 super duper elite bonus episodes if you're a paying member.
Yeah.
And it's hard to know where to kind of fall into it,
Yeah, because there's it gets to the point where you're like, are you really going to be listening to 4 podcasts a week of me scraping the barrel? Dude,
that's the other thing. Like, you want your best content to be public because if you're having to do extra stuff, usually the law of something is that the more you do, the more the quality goes down. No offense.
I don't know if mine had quality anywhere other than video quality. Do you have a place in Donegal?
No.
Do you rent the same place to go stay every time?
Every single time. We talk a lot about. I was even chatting to.
By the way, is it Airbnb?
Oh, why?
Will you book like 4 throughout the year or something?
So we go once a quarter. It's one of our family rhythms.
Do you book it in? Because we have a place.
Do you have a place?
Which I would buy if it was.
Oh, really?
If it was able to be done.
I was talking to Chris Suter about this because
I listened to that podcast.
He just bought a place, and actually listening to him. Now he really wanted to own that, and I'm so happy for him. But listening to him, I was like, yeah, I'm never going to buy the place.
No, and then I keep seeing videos of people from Donegal where they'll be like, look at the state of this, and then some guy just puts a fucking toffee hammer through the side of a new build because whatever the fuck they're making out of Cocoa Pops and toilet paper.
That's right.
It's like the houses are just falling apart.
That's right. There's like a big, everyone's got it. Like, I don't know what it is, but like big protest banners on their cars and all where they're like, justice for the family of like whoever the builders are that built all these like Cocoa Pop wall buildings. Yeah. Like, it's a big thing. Like, half the houses in Donegal, the new houses in Donegal are like falling apart because of they used, I can't remember exactly, but like a type of material that's just not suitable for building.
I think it was like whatever the blocks were or something, just reacted with. Now, Maureen's dad told me this because he is a builder, reacted with like whatever was in the sand, salt or something, just didn't set. And the guy literally just popped a hole in like the cement front of the house, put his hand in and was just scooping it out. Like,
oh no.
Like the thing would just fall apart.
But it's again like one of the guys I play basketball with, Tony McGarn, he was saying like
Big Tony.
He was saying
that fucking elbows Wilson there.
Oh, god damn it. Big David, like elbow to the nose. Do you know how inconvenient it is to try to now squeeze in a slot before I go to Germany to get my nose rebroken?
Oh yeah,
carnage.
Go via Turkey. Get a whole new nose put in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we travel tourism. I have no idea what I was going to say now. Oh yeah, no. Tony said to me, he's like, I've never met a man who's optimized his life more for simplicity than you. And I was like,
nice quote.
I was like, I think he meant it as a dig, but I'll take that. Mm-hmm. And see, just when I think about like, number one, dumping all of the finances into actually getting a place. So take that aside, like the maintenance of it, like making sure it's all good. And even if you turn it into like a side business where like you're renting it out, like, mate,
that's a nightmare.
It's an absolute nightmare.
Drive to Donegal to change some sheets.
Honestly. Or like your cleaner doesn't show up.
Yeah.
And then your guests are angry or your guests are just complete plonkers. I'm just like, do you know what? There are easier ways to make money, and starting an Airbnb empire on the side is not the way I want to do it.
What'll happen is like, you have some nice house and you get it all finished nicely, and then a bunch of fucking stag doos arrive in it, and you're like, man, this is looking grubby now.
Plus, like, you can, Airbnb is like criminally easy. Like, you can go anywhere in the world and just rent a place. Mm-hmm. Why would you need to own it?
Exactly.
And you can go anywhere you want then instead of just having the one place that you're committed to forever and ever.
Exactly. But that's cool to just book that in.
But that's where we got married, so it's nice for us even just to always go back there, you know. Like, and even just it's like that downtime with your family, like even with my wife, like it's important because it allows you to have like those big conversations you need to have. Like we were joking like before.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, yeah. So see, the last 2 months, I've been looking to say this to you, like, but I even remember, like, you know, my wife really wanted to have kids, like maybe year 1, year 2 of marriage, and I was just like, I work for Deliveroo, like I'm starting a business, like I do not feel in a place to do this, and like it's not, you know, the last quarter there, whatever month that was, we took our baby to that place in Donegal we go to, and you're like, look, sure, didn't it all work out? Here she is, and she's great.
Deliveroo that.
Yeah, but
it's
nice just to have like that consistent rhythm for yourself where you can take a step back, get away from everything, unplug, and just like see what's going on, you know.
I would love to get there, that sort of vibe, but at the minute, like it feels like I need a massive intense period to sort everything out, then be slightly freer. That's how I feel.
And I'll be honest, like I was saying to you before recording, like we all had COVID last month. We were in Germany all of September, so I look back at my calendar and I was like, I missed 8 weeks of like in-person recording, and see the last like 3 weeks and next week included when we come back from Donegal, it's just been like cram city trying to like make it all work. Do you know what I mean? So that's the chaos of life, and you have to go with it sometimes. Like, didn't expect any of that. But yeah, it's sometimes you got to set stuff in stone, and even if you do set in stone, sometimes you just got to be flexible too.
Word.
Yo.
Let's move on to some questions.
Let's go.
My question is, what sort of podcasts do you listen to now? Do you have time? Because I feel like
So I'm gonna be honest
chip
with
mine
you.
right down to about 1 if I can be arsed.
So, see, since producing these other shows, like, because I actually have to like be there, listen to the interview in real time, and then you have the editing process, and then you listen to the final finished product. That kind of takes up most of my podcast listening time.
Yeah.
Because I'll listen to it out on a walk, and I'll make notes on my phone or whatever. I need changes. So I'm including Best of Belfast, you know, I'm putting out like 12 episodes a month. And like that's kind of all the podcast listening I can do. Yeah. So I love the Tim Ferriss show. Yeah. And I think I'm just like a huge fanboy. Because he's kind of the one that got me into it all. So I will listen to that show the most religiously. And then I was doing the dishes the other night, and I pulled up Joe Rogan because I'm like, who's your man got on now? And there was like a 4-hour interview with Snoop Dogg, and I was like, I mean, it'd be rude not to. Yeah. Like where else on the planet could you get a 4-hour conversation with Snoop?
Did you stick it out for 4 hours?
No, it did not. No, it did not. But I did listen to, a few months ago, a really great interview with Quentin Tarantino on Rogan. And again, that's the beauty of Rogan, is he gets people who no one else could get, and no one else could get for that casual way and that sort of long way. So Tim would be the one I would listen to the most.
It's funny because my taste in podcasts is what mine used to be, which is just one person.
Yeah.
Usually a comedian going off on stuff.
I listen to Blind Boy like twice a year. When I want a monologue, that's where I go. You know,
it depends. Again, it depends. Like mine, the ones I listen to now are like Tim Dillon, because that's what I want to hear. I want to hear like one guy's unique opinion on things, and he's very funny. And then like those conspiracy guys, because I was so late to the party that I have fucking years of it to listen back to, and he listens to mine, which is fucking insane. Class. But that's really it. That's what I've whittled it down to. And the things I like listening to are just one comedian going off and stuff. You know, I've heard enough of like the lads sitting around talking shit. Like so that's kind of what I've whittled it down to now.
I would listen to. I'm doing a lot more audiobooks than I probably used to. Well, no, I'm probably doing the same amount. I've probably just dropped off my podcast listening because I do so much of it through the work schedule, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That I just have maintained my audible listening.
Are they gonna get to the place? Someone ring me there. Are they gonna get to the place where you can, much like a sat nav, just pick who's reading it? Because a lot of, which is so petty, but there's ones I've put on and I'm just like, I can't fucking listen to 16 hours of this shit.
So I tell you this, actually, this is real niche.
Hello.
There is a audio Bible called Dwell, and they've done exactly what you've described. So you literally pull it up.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Let's say you want to read, I don't know, the book of Matthew. Shout out to Matthew. Will you fuck off? You can pull up like 12 different speakers, and it literally gives you the country flag. What accent would you like to listen to? Like, what background music would you like? So I think that's a real niche example of an audio experience that I think will be like, for the big audiobooks, like you're talking like the Harry Potter stuff, 100% that's going to happen.
Yeah, because you get like I listened to Kitchen Confidential, the Anthony Bourdain one.
Yep.
And I was like, this is magical. And then you listen to, I tried to put on that Chaos one about like the Mansons and all that shit.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I was just like immediately not into it. Like,
yeah.
Because I've seen the numbers. I was like, I can't listen to 16 hours of this guy.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
It's crazy how, the reader makes or breaks the book.
How weird.
But it's not crazy. Because you're listening to them for 20 hours,
for
like you said.
fucking week. You're like, give it some life, man.
Yeah.
Right, we'll hit these questions. Michael Jardine. Some of these are serious, some of them aren't. What makes a great Belfast breakfast, and where does the best breakfast in Belfast? It's like a riddle.
Yeah. Who are you, the Joker? Like, come on.
That's from Michael Jardine Shannon.
Just off the top of my head, so, I mean, if you want hipster brunch, General Merchant is my favourite place. General Merchants, sorry.
That's the fucking...
if you want, like, a slap around the face and, like, a piping hot cup of tea and your waiter to, like, slag you, but you want a good, like, Ulster fry, I like going to Blinkers. It's just, like, it's from, like, the 50s and it's just stayed the same. And I'm like, you know what you're getting when you go there.
Exactly. There was that, when we lived up fucking, where was it, Wellington Place or something? We used to go to that Mad Hatter, which was up there.
Oh, yeah.
And the girl would, she's like, John, I was waiting on someone, she's like, John, another coffee, love. But she just kept, she didn't charge me for them. Yeah. She gave me like 6 coffees.
You're like, is this okay?
And by the time Kieran Bartlett fucking swanned in there, he's like, sorry man, I'm a wee bit late. I was just like, sit down.
Maggie Mays is good for that. Like, it's a bit nostalgic, but it is what it is.
Anyone you've tried to get and be knocked back for your podcast?
Kenneth Branagh, I'm desperately trying to get at the minute because of his movie Belfast, and he is so tightly gate kept by his agents.
Yeah.
And actually at one point they were like, yes, but you can have 15 minutes of his time. And I was like,
what are you going to do in 15 minutes?
That's not really, I think I would rather have no Branagh than just
all Branagh?
It's whole Branagh or no Branagh for me.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, that fucking trailer, I was like, oh my God, hack my eyes out.
No.
You know what I mean? I was like, fuck it. But anyway, it's weird that sort of, when people are like, have agents and publicists and stuff like that.
There's like a level of fame where like, because in my eyes, like, to be honest, like, interviewing Julian Simmons is on the same level as interviewing Kenneth Branagh, right? Just in terms of like people I really want to talk to who everyone knows and loves.
Yeah.
But there's a level of fame that people get to where it's like, and actually a show for one of the other shows I'm producing, like literally we're interviewing a big CEO, and just got an email last night and they sent through a list of questions and they said, you cannot deviate from this list of questions because the comms team has prepared this for this interview. And I'm like, what are we doing at this point?
Yeah, you might as well be one of those automated fucking like, hello there.
So, people reach a certain level of fame, and it's not actually, what I have learned is, it's not the people themselves. Like, you can't take it personally.
No, it's definitely not.
Kenneth is not being a douche.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's like, your time is so precious. You only have 24 hours in a day. These are the people you put around you to make your life happen. And that's okay. That's just part of it.
My brief experience with that was shooting a video for Boojum. And obviously the owners were friends with, rugby guys. And we had Craig Gilroy and Stephen Ferris in the video. And I had like a script written up and we shot it. It was dead funny. And there's a bit where Stephen Ferris like slags me to death,
Right.
like real swearing, it's real. And they were just like, no, we can't put that out.
His people won't let him.
His people,
Yeah.
basically. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so, and I have it still, I have the video, and I'm like, we just did nothing with it. Just did nothing with it. And, we got paid for making the video, and still just nothing came of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you got any, is your podcast now become like, people are starting to get a bit like, why have I not been on that type vibes?
Do you know what? Like, there's been a few people I've asked to come on the show recently, and they've literally just, well, it's about time, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's
Oh,
taking
yeah,
you
here
so
he is.
long? Here he is now.
Crawling
Actually,
back to me now to fucking
Nico was one of them. Nico made he made a real stink about it. He's like, I was wondering when I was going to get the invite. Like, you're 3 years late. Like, what the heck? Because I did. So I used to work as a copywriter, like, because writing's my thing, and I would do branding and all. Like, Nico was my first ever client.
Really?
Like, I helped like launch the brand whenever it was starting.
I know.
Which is so funny.
It's funny that, yeah, you probably didn't consciously think about it at all till you were just like, oh, I should get Nico on, and he's like taking it personally.
Yeah,
He's
literally,
like, fuck you.
literally, I was like, and I've been meaning to get him on for like 2 years, but yourself, it just, sometimes you just literally forget to do it.
I know, fuck's sake. Rank Belfast by north, south, east, and west. Under what?
I mean, that's a bit of a pain in the ass question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I lived in East for a while. I lived in South for a while. See, to be brutally honest with you, I know very little about North and West, so it's not really fair for me to throw them out.
You're in the west now, kid.
Yo!
It's funny because, each one of them, maybe not north, but the rest of them, you could never leave them. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't have to leave them.
Yeah.
There's people like, look where we are right now. And I was at a gym, like, up the road. And I was like, oh, sure, my office is just down the road there. And he goes, where? And I was like, oh, it's in there. And he goes, oh, in the town? And I'm like, what do you mean in the town? First of all, it's not even in the town. Like,
Yeah. I tell you what,
but to him, he's like, oh, beyond those lights.
see, if I was moving to anywhere in Belfast now, I would move to North Belfast. And you know where the waterworks is? Mm-hmm. Like, I have a mate just moved in there, and that is an amazing part of the city. Like, so beautiful.
Gorgeous.
It's absolutely stunning.
Stunning.
But like, the mountains are there, like the wee parks there. I'm like, that's great.
You'll find somewhere nice anywhere,
Yeah,
really. You know
it's
what I mean? All right, that's more of a comedy question. We'll skip that. Opinions on the possibility of Stormont shutting down hospitality over Christmas.
Not really my bag.
Not really my bag. Well, it is my bag, but as me and Mickey Bartlett were chatting, they're like, fuck, wouldn't you love a wee lockdown for 6 weeks? Just what?
Nah, I was like, mate, I could do so much editing. Can't wait.
I fucking, I swear to God, I was talking yesterday to like my, in-laws, and I was like, see if you could just fucking let me clean out my garage and no one talk to me.
Yeah.
And I've got headphones in and I'm faffing about, do a wee bit of brushing. I would be in heaven.
I guarantee you'll come back with like the best ideas ever.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the downtime you need to like
just
make that happen.
Faff about
Yeah.
and fucking, put something somewhere and be like, don't know about that.
Yeah.
That's all I want to
Yeah.
do.
That's the other thing about the sauna though for me. Like, I'll be in the sauna not thinking about anything. I'll come out of the sauna, I'm like, ding! I know exactly what I need to do.
Yeah.
It's like the classic, like, you're having a shower and you finally think of that thing.
Yeah, exactly. Have you done a sensory deprivation tank?
So interesting. There's a new segment on BOB with a guy called Scott Riley, and he is actually a Wim Hof certified, met Wim, did the whole thing. And so he's really into like wellness, and he's taken me.
Why does that sound like a Belfast word itself?
Wellness? Yeah.
Look at fucking wellness
It's
over
like,
here.
we are the only place in the world that describes it as the COVID.
The COVID.
Everyone I know, like across every demographic imaginable, they call it the COVID. I'm like, what is that all about? Our next episode, he's taking me to a sensory deprivation tank, and we'll do it, and then we'll have a chat about it.
Yeah.
Have you done it?
No, but I think it's.
I think you'd like it.
I think I would.
I think I'd like it.
I think I'd very much like it. No, but definitely, and I think someone like me, that's what I would require.
Yeah.
Is locked in a box.
Yeah.
Because I'll always find a way to fucking.
Unlock the box.
and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
be distracted or fucking pissed off or
There's
something.
there's a place in Dundonald we're going to, so I'll
I think it's
let
that,
you know.
I think that's the only place.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's quite niche.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's such a dodgy business to open by yourself, just like round the back of Castle Court.
My wheelie bin. I made tenner to get in this sensory deprivation tank.
I'll shut it, tape it up. No one's gonna get in or out.
Knock 5 times if you're drowning.
Just breathing out of that was
Water.
sensory deprivation. Have I shot? I don't know. I did a course with Matt.
Oh, wow. Niche.
Matt here.
This man.
And it seems like he's been propelling steadily towards things he loves. My question is, do you both see immediate results when pursuing things you love?
Absolutely not. The immediate result is the pleasure you get from it. A bit of a niche way to tie it back, but like what we were talking about running and the dopamine hit or the reward, like this is kind of what I was trying to get at. I feel like I didn't really nail it earlier. Whenever you get your pleasure or your joy or your dopamine hit from the activity itself rather than any reward that it brings, I feel like that's that's the magic spot. Where whenever I started to fall in love with actually just doing what we're doing now, like really, really, like not being nervous, not being worried about how I sound, like not being worried about the sound quality, like whenever I could just show up and do the conversation, that is the drug of podcasting for me, and that's why I continue to do it. Mm-hmm. It's like the conversations you have, the things you figure out in your own brain. It's like, you know yourself, like it's like free therapy podcasting. It's unreal.
Depends who you're talking to.
And so that is the immediate pleasure that I get. And in fairness, I have stripped a lot of stuff away, like social media, that just remove the joy of it for me. So it has taken, like Best of Belfast is like 5 years old. And it's only like the first 3 years, I saw pretty much nothing from it in terms of financial return or even really listenership or anything like that. So the answer is yes, but also no. I get immediate pleasure because I mainly only do things that I'm interested in and that I'm curious about. But usually it's serotonin rather than dopamine, as you said earlier, where it's the longer term reward you get.
Yeah.
Because you know yourself, like the longer your show goes, the bigger your audience gets, the more your back catalog is.
I'll be honest, like even for me, nothing really is immediate. Do you know? You're shite at stand-up when you just start it.
True.
You know, there's nothing immediate about that. And then people will be like, man, you're doing fucking this big gig or whatever. What's that like? And you're like, it's like every other fucking gig because I've done thousands of, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like you do one open mic and then the next minute you're doing 1,000-seater. It's like you gradually creep up to it. So nothing is, the immediate bit is immediate, like, reward from laughter when you've got good material, when you're like bang bang bang, that's an immediate feedback.
But even then, like there's usually a longer tail to that where you maybe have been developing that material for a couple of months, or you've been,
of course,
you know, so it's unless it's that like classic like spur of the moment, you add something in just to see how it works and it works. That's as close as you can get to immediate, you know.
I mean sometimes there are just bits of, you know, like lightning in a bottle moments where you're like, that won't happen again type thing. But yeah, the usage rate versus the stuff you've tried in stand-up, it's like a documentary, you know, like what you see on screen is a fucking like a tenth of what was shot or written. So there's a lot of it just goes in the bin, like.
True. Let me ask you this. This has been circling around my head like an hour ago and it's just come back. If you could put anything in your house, so you mentioned like the gym and all, so mine's a sauna. Yeah. Like if you could splash out, let's say I give you like 20 grand to put anything on your property, what would you put?
Fuck. What's your answer?
Sauna? Barrel sauna? And then next like a proper cool plunge. Although I mean the
rigmarole I'm fucking going through right now, trying to put a bathroom in my house. Fucking. What would I put in it?
Or outside it, you know.
This is one of these, you know, like
it could even
questions that I'm like.
If you broaden it out,
you realize that everything's fine and you don't need anything.
So, for example, like, you know, this is a made-up scenario, but like I would have a full-time yoga instructor there that would just be there all the time that I could just go to and be like, okay, let's do the class now.
That's fucking great.
Some like modern day slavery, but
A cleaner?
yeah, why not?
I think, honestly, a driver
Oh,
would be, to me right now, I would take a driver.
so you can work while you commute?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Like Nico has a driver. Nico's had a driver long before he should have had a driver.
Yeah.
And I never really got it.
It's because he's fucking one of these Europeans drunk all day.
I never really got it until, you know, you're right. Like for you, it's an hour and a half of your day that you could put into.
I heard
even
someone
something
else.
stupid like doing emails or something. Do you know what I mean?
Even resting. You know, there's
Yeah.
times where like one of the shit bits about like having a few different sort of businessy things or a podcast and this whatever and being a fucking entertainer at nighttime is you should be, you know, going to the gym and laying about and eating
Sure.
some food and having a nap and then going and do it. But you're not. You're doing a full day's work with
Yeah.
fucking screaming baby and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then you go, right, I'm away to fucking entertain people here, and you shut the door and you're in the car just like, I'm fucking out of my mind right now.
Yeah.
So at the minute I would take like a driver or a PA. Someone who just shadowed me all day, and I was like, remember I have to do that.
PA is a good shout, actually.
But then I heard also Joe Rogan saying if you need a PA, you're doing too much. So
Whoa, Joe.
our mate Joe.
Throwing stuff that around, like, let's see.
I'm gonna cherry pick a few of these because
Can I be an absolute drama queen, Niall? This is like, I feel so uncomfortable doing this. When just going, can I actually have another water? Is that possible? Is there any? I'm out of sparkling water, and I feel myself like,
they're in the kitchen.
thank you, bro. I hate to play the service card like
I should have set them all out. This is a great question. What's the best thing to do in Belfast on a Sunday morning? Get a flight to Amsterdam.
Nico! Like, it's not the best. It's the first thing came in my head. This time of year, this was recorded in autumn time. Mate, I would go for a walk around Stormont. There's like wee wooden boardwalks that are crazy. Niall, you're a saint and a scholar. Thank you so much.
You'll leave and you'll be like, fucking, don't bring him back. Fucking David.
Yeah, it's like the audio and the video from this episode will be corrupted. Walk around Stormont, not just up and down the main road, go around all the wee side bits, and then go to General Merchants for breakfast.
Nice. Best thing to do in Belfast. I mean, I can't even think.
And then go to the sauna.
It would have to be, yeah, some sort of park / whatever walk and maybe a breakfast. There's not much else to do, like.
Waterworks. Like, honestly, when I lived in Donegal Road, I would just drive up to Cave Hill every Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a wee back car park, not the main car park, but like it's country roads. Can't remember the name of the road now. And literally you can like ascend to the peak of Cave Hill in literally 15 minutes. It's the lazy man's
That's what I'm after.
hike.
I've never been up Cave Hill.
You should go.
We should go and do a podcast. I'm trying to, that's my next,
Mate, so I actually did a podcast at the top of Cave Hill.
just fucking,
So, the microphones I have, they're just like, you know, they're £100. They're like Shure SM58s. I'm sure you probably used them at one point.
oh yeah, that's the mic.
The industry standard, bro. Mate, they killed it. Like, it sounded like we were in the studio. And it was with a guy. It was actually just around your episode, because that's how I kind of remember stuff. He was a drone pilot.
All right.
And so he had the drone, and we did video, and the drone was recording us the whole time. Mate, it was absolutely sick.
So the mic didn't pick up wind or there's fucking... I remember, was it Elon Musk was on, it was probably Joe Rogan, we've brought it up a lot, when they were talking about like hover cars, and he was like, can you imagine a drone, but you know, 1,000 times bigger?
That interview was so bizarre.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he's a fucking weirdo.
I love how long he took to answer, though. I appreciated the silence.
Well, that's because his brain's just fucking... like fucking... The hard drive's just firing up. Bet his ears whistle. You know, like when your computer's hot, just like...
I just imagine, you know, the old modem noises. Like, that's when he gets stressed.
Yeah. Being able to wank through that was a skill people will fucking appreciate these days. Anyway, you're stuck on Rathlin Island
Oh, a classic, a twist of a classic question.
By the way,
I appreciate that.
Wherever this goes, the answer is just swim home. I just swim across, probably. You can only take one person for company, one type of food, and one type of drink.
Okay, well, person has to be wife. Sorry, baby. See you later. As in baby child, not baby like my girlfriend or something.
Yeah.
Type of food. I mean, if I could only eat one thing, it probably would have to be like an endless supply of like some sort of like the carnivore diet, because I think you can kind of live off red meat pretty well.
Yeah, if someone would just drop a side of beef once a week,
Yeah.
I'll eat that.
Yeah.
And I'll eat a bit of fucking seaweed or something.
And then what was the third one?
Drink.
Oh, drink. I mean, is it really, really basic just to say water?
Just clean water that's not salty water.
Not salty water.
I would nearly think about going the opposite way, which is just like maybe I just take the baby for a year, and just go full fucking wild man with the baby.
It'd be like a wee Mowgli child.
Yeah, just come back and he's got a beard. Just 3 years old, has a beard.
And your wife would like have like the most relaxed year ever.
Yeah, he's in like fucking.
Colin, sweetie, thank you so much for
like,
that. That was a great break.
And I'll be like, that's cool. Who's this fella? And
yeah. Who's this grown man?
Yeah, it's like Waterworld. He gets gills behind his ears and all, can just eat raw fish.
I think there's an old traditional Irish version of a sauna on Rathlin Island. The names escape me of what they actually called it. I think it was Irish for hothouse, whatever that is. And it was basically like a wee small stone hut where they would light fire under and get it super, super hot. And they would literally put sick people in there to sweat it out. And there was a beauty pageant
Oh, Jesus.
on Rathlin Island.
I'd win that.
Every year.
I'd win that.
I think like back in the olden days, and I think all of the contestants and that would go and have like a session before their, I don't know, what you do in a pageant, your performance or whatever.
Sweat your moustache off.
They would sweat it out.
Have you seen my Rathlin vlog from when the boys went to do a gig? That's great.
Link in bio.
Yeah. You are missing some good stuff off the socials.
I am.
If an influx of patrons / business made you a multi-millionaire, would you stay in or fuck off somewhere else? This is
It's a good question.
This is a Tim Ferriss question, because you don't need to be a multi-millionaire
Yeah,
to fuck off.
it's true.
Pre-lockdown, right? I never had goals, like specific goals. If I sort of close my eyes and imagine things, it was more of like a lifestyle
Yeah.
than a specific like thing. You're sort of like, oh, I would love to be able to fucking send someone on holiday as a gift. You know what I mean? Something like that, which we actually did. We sent Maureen's parents to Paris for a thing, but stuff like that. Like could we take everyone to like a villa in Portugal or something like that?
So there's a guy on Ferris talking about this recently. His name's Remy Setti, I think his name is. And he was asking people like, what is your rich life?
Yeah.
So he coaches like multi-millionaires, and his big thing is even people with money don't know how to enjoy their money.
Exactly.
And he had this literally, like I've talked about this with all my mates, and it's such good fertile ground to get into. So one of his clients literally it was on like 500k a year, and he was like, and she doesn't spend her money because she can't enjoy herself. And I think a lot of Northern Irish people are the same, very frugal over here because we had to be. And he was like, what would make you feel like a billionaire? Literally anything in the world. And she came back and she said, if I could go and shop at Marks and Spencer's and not have to worry about how much it all was going to be. And you're like, bro, like you could do that. Like just go and do that. Literally.
I do that, need eating Percy pigs.
Yeah. And like the man, like the guy Remy, like he grew up in like an Indian family with like loads of his brothers and sisters, and they were strapped for cash. And his thing is like he has an unlimited budget for strawberries. Because they just couldn't afford them growing up. So really, really basic stuff that actually everyone listening to this podcast could pretty much make happen.
Of course, like, pretty quickly, like our comedy nights are doing well. I sell out shows, praise be to Allah. We sell t-shirts. We've got a reasonably popular podcast.
A thriving Patreon community.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not a fucking millionaire, but it's like you go, right now all I want is like time. So very quickly,
It's time.
very quickly you go, right, can I go to fucking Donegal for a week and put my phone away and no one gives a fuck?
Yeah.
And everything's going to run itself,
Yeah.
you know? That's like...
So I would say, like, I have progressively, like, over the last 5 years been really, like you say, working towards more of a lifestyle. So, like, I always say to people, like, I'd rather take a time rise than a pay rise. And, like, I have been working in that direction. So, like, now, like, I do a 4-day week, you know, like, Fridays are off.
Yeah.
And if I think about what my goal is for next year or for the next 2 years, I'd love to start taking a Monday off. You know what I mean? And like a 3-day cycle where you hit your work incredibly hard and then that's it. You know, like you do these full days because I love working. Like I absolutely love it. And I love like the hustle and the bustle and that will never leave me. So if I was multimillionaire, I would absolutely keep working. I think I would just work less and I would kind of condense my workload into like a 3-day period rather than a 4. I would still live in Northern Ireland. What I will say is, you know, I'm married to a German woman, and so the chances that we move to Germany over the next lifetime is highly likely. But that's not money dependent. That's just kind of life dependent, I suppose.
Do you like Germany?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Great songs.
Great songs, yeah. I know
Amazing
a
songs.
load of people, like... I know quite a few people who go to fucking Berlin, like, every weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just fucking never out of the place.
Yep.
If you could take anyone from Northern Ireland for a drink, dead or alive, who would it be?
2 answers, okay?
Turn the gun on you.
Yeah. Oosh, with the sound effect. This is a staple question I've asked every single guest on my show, so I do have an answer. The famous person is Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
I'd love to take Liam out for a pint. He used to work in a Guinness factory, so he probably wouldn't drink Guinness, but he used to drive a forklift or something.
I'm sure he would.
I'm sure he would.
Where does Liam live?
I think he lives in multiple places, but I think it's Manhattan.
You're like, he lives up here.
Yeah.
Rent-free.
He lives in my head, rent-free. Yeah. I have a picture of Liam in my office just pointing at you, and I'm like, go on, Liam.
I want to say Mickey Bartlett did the original version of Imagine if Liam Neeson didn't lose his accent.
Really?
And he did that years ago.
Wow.
And I've since seen 4 or 5 comedians do the same bit, more or less.
Class.
And Mickey will just turn around to me and be like, oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's my revenue, bro? Dead person would be my mum's dad, so my granda. Really weird, but like hugely influential in my life, like throughout my life, even though he died whenever I was like 4 or 5. Like there's just been loads of wee things along the way, and I'm not a very mystical kind of guy, but just like off like books that like belong to him that I've read, or like I don't know, like pieces of advice my granny has given me over the years that was kind of like his thing.
Yes.
And I just felt that like my life would have been very, very different if he had been there. So I'm a real townie. Like, look at these wee hands. You know what I mean? Like, there's one callus on them from doing pull-ups, and that's the height of it. And he was like big country guy, like out hunting every weekend, like won like clay pigeon shooting competitions. And I just think I would have been pushed slightly more that direction. And I do love the outdoors. I'm out, I was going to say in the outdoors a lot, but you know what I mean? And I think that part of me probably would have been amplified if he had still been around. So yeah.
Very cool. What's the kindest thing anyone's ever done for you?
Sugar. Okay, just first thing came to my head.
This is a swap cast now.
It is a swap cast. So I first got sick whenever I was in P7. So I just did my 11 plus and then I got sick. So I missed kind of like...
What is got sick?
Glandular fever.
Oh.
Really normal. That's a normal disease.
No, fuck
everyone
yeah,
gets.
that shit. Like.
But I had like an acute dose. That was the bedridden 6 months, the start of the journey.
Yeah, I
as
know
it were.
people have been year off school type shit.
Yeah. So, you know, I missed like all the good part of P7. You know, the bit you've been waiting for, like
The drinking.
yeah. And you know, I came back to school and like everybody was like 2 heads taller. Everyone had gone into puberty, including me, during those 6 months. And you come back and it's just this weird world. I describe it as like, you know, like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, where like he gets bit and he wakes up the next morning and he's just like, whoa, like he's just different. That's kind of what it felt like. And I just remember like being so physically weak and like unable to climb the stairs and like struggling so much with like my mental health. And no one had a language or a framework for what that meant back then. Like nobody really knew what depression was.
Very uncomfortable all the time.
Do you know what I mean? Like nobody really knew what was happening. And I just had my P7 teacher at the time. She was a woman called Miss Dickey. And I just remember her and a dinner lady like literally taking me by the hand. And this is Scundern at 11 years old, you know. But literally taking me by the hand and walking me around the playground, like doing laps to try to build my fitness up.
Wow.
And like, they didn't have to do that, but they did.
Yeah.
And later on, like I did a fun run that summer, which was a big deal. Lisburn fun run. I don't know, was it even 3 miles? And like, I just remember like, you know, I had to walk most of it. I remember getting towards the end and that wee dinner lady was there. And she says, come on, we'll run the last wee bit together. Yeah. I just remember being like, you just didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
There's bigger moments.
Holding a pair of tongs.
Yeah, clapping behind you. Click, 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 go on, you boy, you. But you know, like there's bigger. The reason why I love that question is because like there's obviously actually kinder things people have done for me in my life that are close to me.
Yeah.
But it's the kindness of strangers that I think is really, it's really special.
Well, not to one up you, but a guy gave me a packet of buns yesterday.
Damn, what type of buns?
Salt caramel squares with salted pecans on the top.
Those are bougie buns.
I was leaving the garage and he ran over to me and he's like, man, I listened to the podcast. He was delivering to the shop. He's like, take a pack of these, man.
Epic.
And I went, I'm just out of gym covered in sweat. And I was like, cheers, man.
I'm ready.
I'm refueling.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, didn't have to do it.
No, I know, yeah.
And it's great.
It's the random. Yeah. But then, you know, people do need to fucking, you know, have a bit of a closer look, you know, or a bit of a look closer to home sometimes, you know. We look around and what people do for you or whatever.
It's true.
Final question.
Dun, dun, dun.
As per your podcast, what info would you, or what is it, what advice would you give to an 18-year-old version of yourself?
Yeah, okay, cool. I don't have a canned answer for this, so let's see. I would go, look, honestly, I would, just to completely wrangle the power and take over the mic, I would change it slightly to the 16-year-old in my case.
Did you have it sorted? You seem
not
like
sorted, but like I definitely needed it a lot more when I was 16. And like, the first thing I would say is something that I I'll do that bit at the end. I would start off with just like really practical. Mm-hmm. Stop watching porn.
Yeah.
Or get the help sooner that you needed to find healing and freedom at that part of your journey. Throw your consoles away and just do stuff outside.
Yeah.
So like I would have wanted to accelerate my my journey that I'm even on now of trying to like manage addiction and stuff. I just would have been like, bro, it's okay. You don't actually need this stuff in your life.
Yeah.
You don't need Bebo. You know, you don't need you don't need this stuff. It's only going to hurt you specifically in the long run. So I would be just like really practical. Also like download this app called Duolingo and start learning German because it'll come in really useful for you one day.
Yeah.
And then the kind of more like violin, aspirational, you know, Hans Zimmer's music playing in the background sort of advice would be, there's like, oh, you have that?
That's jazz.
Oh, well, jazz is quite nice.
Do you want to play it out with the jazz?
Oh. Hi, welcome to the Blind Boy Podcast.
Give me money for nothing.
It's the price of a pint or a cup of coffee.
Yeah, where? Yes, sorry, continue then.
A mantra that I have lived by since that age, and there's kind of 5 things I live by, but we're only talking about the first one, is be who you needed when you were younger.
Oh yeah, that old chestnut.
And I think like you can get so caught up in the like a victim mentality of they did this to me or she did that to me or society did this. And like literally like if we all just shut up, like trauma's a thing. I mean, you need to heal from trauma and I get that. But like if you take the responsibility onto yourself and say, right, I am the solution to this problem rather than waiting for somebody else. And I think in our own journeys and in our own stories, like we've all been through different stuff. Everybody. And I think each of us has a solution or a bit of treasure or gold that we've stolen from some sort of dragon that we've slayed along the way, that could be of benefit to other people, and specifically could be of benefit to the next generation coming up behind you. So I would literally just say, be who you needed when you were younger, and don't wait for somebody else to step in and do it. Like, you're literally it. This is super random, actually. The bus stop yesterday, I took the bus into Belfast yesterday, and there was an ad for Tier Fund, I think, and it was like a Christmas appeal for, not to make light of it, starving kids or something of that nature. And it had a class wee bit of copy, and it literally was just like, poverty is not God's plan, you are. And I was just like,
we should get the bus more often.
I was like, do you know what? Like, whatever you believe, there's some truth in that. Like, we have the possibility, we have the potential, we have the resources to change things. Like, it's the classic, like, so clean water. The amount of money it would take to solve the world's water problem that literally kills, I don't know, millions of people every single year is the same amount of profit from US ice cream sales every year.
It's big ice cream, man. It's fucking the place up.
Yeah, so that's it. Be who you needed
China
when you were
cream.
younger. And don't wait for
what
other
I've
people.
experienced in the last few years, is like I try to be the person that I needed when I was younger to other people.
Yeah.
And it sort of falls in deaf ears, and you go, maybe people do just need slapped.
Yeah, they need slapped, and they also need to go off. And like, I'm a big believer that like humans only change when it's too painful for them not to.
Well,
and sometimes
yeah.
you have to hit rock bottom sometimes before you can actually go somewhere. But like it's one of those hard truths in life, and I experienced it a lot working with the homeless community, and a lot working with the drug addicted community. The wise man only spends his time helping people who want to be helped.
Oh, for sure.
And everybody else, literally, don't even bother. Because life's too short. You don't have enough time. You don't have enough resources. So be who you need who were younger for the people that actually want help and want to change. And that's a wrap.
What's that bee thing? The bee doesn't spend time explaining to the fly.
Oh, I haven't heard this.
Why honey tastes better than shit. Yeah. Do you know who said that?
Who?
Donald Trump. No, I didn't have no idea.
Wow. Albert Einstein
no
and
idea
Mark
who said
Twain said that.
Same time. And
Yeah.
went, jinx. How long have we talked for now? Fucking 6 months? 2 hours, man.
Wow, the long form.
You told me you had 2 hours.
I did, and you honoured that.
And we filled her to the fucking hinge end.
Squeezed every last penny out of it.
Thanks very much for coming on,
No,
man.
real honour, honestly. Appreciate it.
And yeah, we'll do it again at some point.
Yeah, get you in the baths.
Up the rock.
See you next time. bestbelfast.org. Is it?
It is .org. Fair play to you.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Class.